All right, Tiny Toys Tuesdays, episode 44. Almost done with all the factions. 2 shows left. 2 shows to go, and then we get to go through all the stuff that we've missed.
2 shows left. Gosh, we're
Yeah,
going through like 5 factions today.
Well, it is going to be a long one. We got all the Orruk sub-factions, and then all the Gitz, essentially sub-factions. So we got that for today. I definitely have Camaron on, as always, and then Zach, who is our resident Gitz player. If it's not him, it's me. But he knows this book way better than I do. He's played a lot of 4th. So
I feel like I've fought a lot of trolls.
Yeah, there's that. I fought a lot of
experienced
trolls.
with that.
I fought against Zach, 4 times? So
yeah,
I know
4
that,
or 5 or something.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Definitely know how to play against them, that's for sure. But we will go through them. Before we get to that, Camaron, what have you been up to?
Let's see. I went to a tournament last weekend playing Soulblight. Soulblight's fun. I love it. And then points changed, and I was like, wow. And then I found out I had an epiphany. I saw into the past, and I was like, I know exactly what I need to do.
Dogs.
More dogs.
Yes,
and so
more
now my
dogs.
Soulblight list has 50 dogs.
I mean, they're so good for what they are. I mean,
Oh my god.
I think they're still good. They're not as good as they were in 3rd, but they're still really good.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They do exactly what they need to do, and it's just to annoy your opponent.
So, do you
And
think
that's it.
after the balance update are they better or worse?
After the balance update, no, they got worse.
Oh, bummer. I know Torgilius.
Oh, yeah. The
Stonks
Soul,
down on him.
Soulblight as a whole went down just a little bit.
Zach, what have you been up to?
After Smite Club, I kind of been taking a little break from Sigmar.
Because the meta is just out of control right now?
I mean, not even just that. It was just like, I kind of figured the Battle Scroll was going to be coming out before any of the next events I'd be going to.
Gotcha.
So,
just wanted to wait it out.
Yeah, just kind of waiting it out, taking that little breather.
Yep.
I haven't even I painted so much leading up to Smite Club that I just kind of, just a nice little breather's been helpful.
Totally get it. As far as I am concerned, I've finished all of my cards, got them printed, so I have all of my AOS cards done, which is pretty crazy. There's I think there's 800 plus cards. So that was a lot of work, and then also I got AOS reminders updated, so now people can use that. If you are actually, I need to put a link on here probably on the PowerPoint, but if you are interested in using AOS reminders, it is updated with the most up-to-date balance update as well as the Skaven book. So if you are interested in that, go to our website at househobbies.com and you'll see a link for the AOS reminders. There's still some bugs on there that I'm going to have to go through and make sure I update, but for the most part, all of the new stuff is on there and you can use it. So that is what I've been up to. Hopefully going to get a game today at Gamers Guild. Is anyone going to Gamers Guild today?
Nope.
Yeah, I should be able to head over there with you guys.
Perfect. That'll be good. I have no idea what to expect. This will be interesting. I heard it's huge, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, the pictures, who was it that posted the photos in the chat?
Jerry.
It looks massive.
Yeah, it does. It does look big. I think it was, Erica told me it was in the old Crunch gym building, so that's a huge building. So I'm interested. We'll see what it's like. All right, tier list explanation. Obviously, I guess just a little preface before we get into it. This isn't an in-depth review. This is just our best and worst and what we think holistically of Gitz and the Orruks. If you guys are interested in more of a deep dive, Warhammer Weekly did a deep dive on these guys and some other places, so go check them out. All right, let's get into Gitz. So I'll go over my summary and then I'll get your guys' take on it. I know I'm gonna do my best not to go into how much I hate Trogs, but I'm gonna do the best I can. By the way, this is post battle update or battle balance update. So if there's anything else I missed on here from the balance update, please let me know and I'll update it. All right, so my overview. One is not like the other. I'll just say that. Trogs are obviously the thing that's carrying this army a lot, followed by squigs, followed by the goblins, followed by spiders. So spiders makes me sad. I just want one day where we can get spiders that are actually in a competitive list. That's all I want. Give me one.
Give it a model refresh, and they'll be good.
Yeah, they need a model refresh and a couple new rules, and I think they'd be solid.
Do you think they are at any point going to get rid of spiders in the near time, in the not too distant future?
They're pretty synonymous with the goblins. Like, I don't know. There's very few things I can see them getting rid of with goblins. It's just spiders, trolls, Moon Clan have just been like the staple three for so long.
I agree, and not only that, but I think
squigs too.
I think people gravitate toward. I mean, the whole reason I got Gitz was because of spiders.
I think if they're going to do anything, they're going to change spiders to just riders, or they're going to be doing riders of dogs, riders of spiders, and try to do stuff like that.
I hope they don't get rid of the big spiders.
I don't think so. Arachnaroks are like one of the big, as you said.
They're so cool looking. I just wish they were good.
Well, their base size doesn't help with that.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
They take up a good quarter of the. They're like the size of an objective now.
I'm pretty sure they're the biggest base size, right?
Yeah, they're 6.5 inches.
I don't think.
Yeah, they're larger than the gap between terrain.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're the 6.5 inch ones.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want to block, a gap in between the terrain, you got a nice miniature there to do that.
Yeah, great. Positioning is key here because obviously the moonlight. So positioning is definitely key. Tons of build variety if you aren't building into a competitive list. I think the competitive lists are pretty similar right now, but non-competitive lists, I mean, you have so much variety. Battle tactics and objectives can be easy, as you can be very difficult to shift. And I'm mostly talking about trogs, but there's a lot of ways to get around in this army. They are quicker than you would think, and there's a lot of little movement shenanigans you can do, so I think battle tactics and objectives are somewhat easy to achieve here, as long as you're building into it, right?
There's been multiple times where I fought Gitz. I'm like, oh, you can go that far. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I've been caught out by Jed with squigs before, and I'm like, wow, okay, I guess they can move that fast. So definitely good. Zach, you're the resident Gitz player. What else am I missing in here?
Honestly, like, a lot of what you're talking about, like what Jed did with squigs, that's a lot of reliance on a specific model, the Rabble Rouser. Overall, going from 3rd to 4th edition, Gitz lost a lot of movement. Your faster units like the Spiders, the Wolf Riders, maintained a little bit of speed, but almost across the board, everything lost armor. Except Rock Guts.
Squig speed went down holistically. Yeah.
Squig speed went down by a minimum. It's D6 plus 3 instead of D6 plus 5. Bounders are D6 plus 6 instead of D6 plus 8. Yeah. Hoppers are D6 plus 8 instead of D6. Like, they've all lost like 2 inches minimum. And the big change from this is you lost a lot of run and charge. Squig's not getting run and charge in the Light of the Bad Moon was a huge change for them, making them a more... I actually have more success with squigs on the counter charge than necessarily on the charge.
Because they can take commands now.
Yeah, they can take commands. That was a huge buff for squigs in general.
For sure. It was that, and it's still huge. It's still a huge buff for them. Being able to do all-out attack with them is really good.
Yep.
Camaron, thoughts?
Their entire army got a very slight nerf, as you said. Like, even stuff like the main leader of the Moon Clan, Scragrot. Like, he lost his +1 to cast.
Yeah. He lost a lot.
Yeah,
like he lost a lot. And so there was they took a lot of the things in the army and then they debuffed them, especially with adding the companion keyword to things.
Yeah.
That hurt quite a bit for a lot of things. and then there's like just some things that they just didn't change at all, which it's very weird the way that they try to shift things around to try to balance things. Because last edition people complained about how fast squigs were, because you could just run across the entire field and hit first turn.
Nothing like launching 72 squigs across the board.
Gosh.
Yep.
And they were all 2 wounds each. God, what a
All
miserable,
2 wounds.
what a miserable experience to play against.
Look, just because I ended the game turn 2 does not mean anything.
So yeah, like they changed a lot of stuff, which I think is actually for the better. For like, it's a much, besides like 1 or 2 complaints, it's a much more balanced and funner to play against now.
Minus one sub faction, but yes.
Yeah.
Even then, that one sub faction, and I will preface everything I say, is there's 1 unit.
Yeah. It is 1 unit.
That's the issue.
It is 1 unit.
1 unit's the issue.
I 100% agree with you. Felwater Trogs are fine. Dankholds are fine. Like, it is literally just 1 unit that is the problem in this book.
Yeah.
Everything else I see is actually pretty good and balanced.
I saw. I don't know if this person's gonna watch the show, but I saw something on Facebook on the Gitz Facebook page, and he's like, "Oh, bummer! No longer can I take 18 rock guts." And I'm like, "You're the reason that they did point increases." But yeah, so but yeah, we'll get to them in a.
I don't know. I have Joel. You saw the list I posted in the chat just for you. Our next game is gonna be that list. No. Trug, 24 rock guts. And a fungoid.
You know what's stupid about that list is it's competitive. It has
its weaknesses.
It does, but it's still super competitive.
All right, no, my entire thing about how good they are is that we had Henry go to Smite Club, who has never played Gitz before. He's been playing for a year.
Yeah.
Never played Gitz before, and he got top 10 with an army he never used before.
Yeah. Not only that, but like.
And he said it was probably one of the easiest armies he's ever played.
And it really is. It really is an easy army to play. And again, this isn't a knock on people who use Gitz all the time. Like Zach, you use them all the time. This is your main army. Mm-hmm. I just can't believe that they didn't do anything with rock guts. Like it's just a bummer. No, and it's just an unfun play experience too. When like you spend 3 turns trying to kill 3 rock guts at 170 points. It's just crazy.
190 now.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right. Battle traits. Under the Light of the Moon. Obviously, we talked about it. Positioning is key. As long as you can master the Moonlight, and Zach, you do it better than anyone. If you can master the Moonlight, this army goes so far. Like, the biggest way people lose in this army is not thinking ahead about the Moonlight, or not being able to make sure you manipulate it to the right, in the right way to get the most out of it. Because once you're out of the Moonlight, this army falls apart quite a bit. So,
yes and no. Trolls fall apart, and spiders would fall apart as well. Those
Correct.
Are the only 2 that really rely on the Moonlight. Because honestly, the other Moon Clan gets +3 to their control score.
Yeah, Moon Clan's
which is great for the heroes.
Sure.
I will say it's always great for the heroes. Having the Moonlight on the Shrine. The Shrine is probably a bigger aspect of the army than the Moonlight itself.
100%.
Because like I'm almost always able to consistently get 2 or 3 objectives in the Light of the Moon based upon the Loon Shrine, and using that along with Moon Clan units to maintain control of objectives is actually probably an easy way to just kind of not lose the game, not lose objectives and points that way.
Yeah, I just know when I play against you, you do a good job of making sure that you are staying in that quadrant, nothing is out. Like, as long as you can, again, if you can master that, you'll go very far with this army.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that's difficult about this army is mastering the Moonlight.
Yeah, and I think every single time I've played Gitz, I don't think or played against Gitz, is I've never seen the movement of the moon as like a bad thing. It's always like, all right, my opponent already has something. It's just, all right, 1 or 2 rounds. It's just there's nothing I can do. Things get bonuses, and it's like, all right, it's always beneficial to my opponent no matter what. And
yeah, I
think like, those are the times it happens.
I think all the times I've played against you, Zach, I don't think like the moon's always been where you've wanted it to be. It's been very rare when I've seen I think the only person that I've played against with Gitz that didn't get the moon where they wanted it to was Jed, and it definitely affected our game for sure.
Yeah, honestly, it just comes down to what you're kind of running a lot of. The big rock gut spam right now, the moon is very important. I think like Smite Club, all my games, either the moon just flew across the board. I had like 1 or 2 turns to actually do something at a fully buffed state with trolls, and that was about it. And even then, though, as long as you know when to do something, you'll be able to hop on that opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we talked about the moon and kind of the buffs it does. Just a quick. I'm sure everyone knows it at this point, but again, the Moon Clan 3-2 control score. Squid gets to reroll the movement characteristic. Troggos get the +1 to save, which is very, very good. And then Spider Fang do the crits on 5s. Cool. All right, battle formations. None of these changed, right? These are all the same?
No, from the battle scroll,
Yeah.
Nothing rule-wise changed
Perfect.
for goblins.
Yeah, though I think there's only one thing that changed was the Web Spinner Shaman.
Oh, yeah.
Which was kind of weird that it had a 5 control score, but whatever.
Yeah.
These are all really good. Talking to Zach, I think Trogherd is probably overkill. But depending on your list, obviously, if you're all Trogs, you're going to go with that anyway.
All right. You say it's overkill, but every single time I have fought trolls, it is the Trogherd battle faction that has made it hard for me to win.
I think with the amount of wounds that they have,
Well, here's my thing. Is you go ahead and I played ogres and then I played soul blight with them against them, and then even night haunt to a certain extent, but night haunt doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But with the ogres, they do a lot of chip damage. Like they do a lot of chip damage. But the problem is the Trogherd heals all the chip damage all the time. I play against soul blight. Soul blight doesn't do a lot of damage, and we do a lot of chip damage. And when it comes down to is like any army that relies on chip damage, like Tzeentch, for example, like it destroys them. Having just one more turn to be able to heal, even if it's a small heal, like it, especially since they have 5 wounds each, it hurts a lot.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the list building, right? If you have 1 or 2 units of squigs, I really do think Squiglanch is very good. Those squigs will literally just annihilate anything they get into.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you're running, 15 Trogs, you're probably going Trogherd. Thoughts, Zach? And then obviously the other ones are a pass, most likely.
Yeah. Honestly, Moon Clan Scrap is probably worse than all the. So, Moon Clan Scrap, what it does is at the end of your turn, only on the Gloomspite player's turn, can you do a pile in.
Not worth it.
Yeah,
not worth it. They have to be in combat, and it only works on stab us and shoot us.
It's so bad. It's so
I
bad.
think it's. Hold on, let me double check this because.
So that means that. Yeah, because it's all friendly non-squig Moon Clan.
Yeah. So that also can apply to.
Scragrot.
Well, not necessarily like Scragrot, but like the heroes, some of the foot heroes, which if they're in combat, you're already in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But fanatics.
Okay, sure.
It's an army ability where you want your really weak guys to stay in combat.
Yeah.
It's definitely the worst one. There probably should be like
It's easily the worst one out of the lot. The Spider Fang one
could be useful.
I mean, preface everything with Gloomspite. Spiders just don't. Their damage is so crit reliant, and even those the spider attacks that do the crit mortals are so few in attacks that they just don't have a damage output, unfortunately.
Yep.
Agreed.
And then I think you guys nailed it with Trogherd and Squiglanch. Now that Trogs are 5 wounds instead of 4, Trogherd is a lot better. Because that was my big issue with it in third, was that with trolls being 4 wounds, I was always topped off. I never needed the extra healing. But now, I actually find that it's very useful. But if you're running any form of squigs or anything like that, if you're running like 2 units of squigs, I almost say just go Squiggle Lanch.
Yeah, same.
Agreed. I think 2 units of squigs is enough, but if you only have 1 unit of squig, it's not
Yeah,
worth it.
Probably
probably-
not worth it. Yeah.
But no matter what, you're either choosing Squigalanch or Trogherd.
Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
only two.
You're doing one of those two.
Makes me so sad, Spider Fang. All right, heroic traits. I mean, Loon Touched is probably the one that most people are grabbing. Fight Another Day, I've seen just the Mangler Squid can be kind of annoying, but I mean, it's just too expensive. I think the Mangler Squid is just too expensive right now. So I think Loon Touched is just the auto choice here.
Yeah, so the issue with Fight Another Day is now that there's the rule that states all non-fight abilities have to go first, Fight Another Day just loses all of its value. Because the big value to it is it used to proc after fighting.
Right.
So now it's you get them in. The one time I've seen it was my game against Greg. It's my club. He had it on a Trog boss. So he was able to charge in the Trog boss, try to get the extra attack,
And then get out.
and then get out.
Yeah.
Which he never, in that game, he never actually got to use it, but that's the strategy I think it would be
That's fair.
the plan.
That's fair. I still think Loon Touch is the one to go.
Oh yeah,
It's
Loon
spell
Touch is the
casting.
way to go.
Yeah.
A free Wizard 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, we get more wizards to get my
Yeah.
good spell lore.
Oh hey, I can make my melee hero a wizard? Yeah, let's
Sure.
make him a wizard.
Yeah. I mean, and they're just with manifestations and everything. It's just a better one to go with.
Spellcasting is good. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? Especially in this edition. All right, moving on. Artifacts. These are all good. I think I don't like once per battle artifacts, but you could take it for D6 damage. I think it's too swingy, but I think the one that I
think-
go with is Git Shield for sure.
I think the backstab blade is great if it could have affected any enemy instead of enemy heroes.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the back.
yeah, it's just
Again,
hero.
I'm very biased here. I only like Clan Mikal.
I don't blame you.
The other two, like, they just don't bring enough value. -1 to hit against everything, shooting, melee, doesn't matter, -1 to hit.
Yeah.
Way better than a once per game D6 damage on a 2-up to an enemy hero. That one's never going to be used.
It's too it's too
It's so
conditional.
niche. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
If it was
do-
Leering
like I
Git
said, if
Shield
it
is
was just anything, then maybe.
I do think Git Shield's got its. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I
Yeah,
definitely
Git
think
Shield's-
Clan Mikal is probably the better one for sure, but Git Shield is. I think it's still.
I don't know.
Okay.
Git Shield is like, oh, I need you to come at me with a lot of attacks and get you to roll a bunch of 1s.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's so...
Yeah, but that's what you want to do against something like Trogs.
I'd rather them have -1 to hit. I would rather them
Agreed.
hit on 5s or 4s than
That's
to
fair.
bank on
Yeah,
them hit
okay.
rolling
That's fair.
1s.
That's fair.
Yeah, because you're putting this on a hero. You want your hero to survive more than because
And
the heroes in this are
it's-
all buffers.
It's very
Yeah,
easy to
all
get
the
-2
Gloomspite
to hit
heroes-
as well.
There's only... What is it? I know we're going to get into this here in a minute. I only think there's 2 S-ranked Gloomspite heroes that you run at least one of them. And everything else is there strictly to unlock certain things. There's only one that
Yeah.
actually does decent damage, and that's Trug.
And you know what? If Trug wasn't a named hero, maybe give him the Git Shield.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe
yeah,
give him the
All
Git
right.
Shield.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's my
But-
problem. Like all the heroes, like they're not meant to be in combat.
Yeah.
Fair,
So
that's fair.
except
Trug's
for
the only one who
Trug.
could be in combat, and that's very buff reliant.
Mhm.
If
That's
he gets
fair.
himself the 5-up ward,
and-
he can be in combat and be
And
good.
the Mangler Squid. He's
Eh.
meant to be in combat. If you're not
Right,
putting
man.
that thing in combat, it's a waste of points.
Yes,
I have
very
my own.
true.
I have my own rant about the Manglers.
Oh boy. We'll
I
get to it.
I agree.
All right, spell lore. Really extremely good spell lore. Like, yikes, the spell lore is super good. It is weird that the sneaky distraction, their enemy, like their units have to be wholly within 12, which is still fine because most of the time it's going to be melee stuff trying to get into like Trogs or something, and they're going to be -1 to hit, potentially -2, depending on what they're attacking.
it's their way
so-
it's their way to balance the spell.
Yeah,
But it's
it
really
used
good.
to be just within, and it was great then too. But honestly, it could be within, and I don't think it would change a whole lot.
Yeah, very few people know how to counter it.
And then the teleport spell is fine. It's weird that it's 24 inches. It's like the only one that's 24 inches, which is weird, but it's still fine.
Yeah.
And then the Spore Maws, that one is the D3 damage.
Hey, look, you have a damage spell.
Yeah, D3 damage to 3
Pick up to
units
3.
within 12.
Yeah, pretty good. I think the biggest problem with this is just they're on 7s, right? That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, they're all on 7s, and honestly, with Sneaky Distraction being the unlimited spell, 9 times out of 10, you're always going to have what you need out of these 3 spells.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Like, there's times where Hand of Gork has almost, like, single-handedly, like, turned a game for me.
Yeah.
Because being able to teleport a unit to other objectives.
Yeah.
Spore Maw's great for just a little bit of chip damage. But
And then-
otherwise, you're just going to do Sneaky Distraction.
-1 to hit is just so good. So good.
Yeah, especially in this edition.
Yep. Anything else on this, Cameron? You got anything else?
All the spells are good.
Yeah, they're
Like-
all
Yeah.
pretty good.
There is a place to play all of them.
Yes. Manifestation lore. I think they're okay. I will say they're fine. I think there's probably better ones. Actually, with Morbid going, with a couple things changing in Morbid, this is a little bit more enticing, but I still think, I don't know if it outweighs Morbid yet.
I was on board with the Gloomspite ones. I love what they do and how they interact with things. And honestly, like, the biggest reason to take it is the Arachna Cauldron, which makes a hero or one of your wizards 1 power level higher.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. I would rather have Shackles.
Yep.
100%. 100%. Can you believe it that they didn't nerf Shackles? I cannot believe that did not go up in cost. I was shocked.
But
I mean,
that's Mork's Mighty Mushroom. I've had a couple of niche. It's great at hordes, as you have written there, but like, it's very niche. Scuttle Tide is useless. Malevolent Moon is
block
a crutch.
You can block things.
You can block a nice little passage there.
I mean, honestly,
going
Skull
to,
Tide's
but-
great because it's huge, but that's really the only purpose. For
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like all of these manifestations, like they're all okay.
They're fine. They're literally fine. They're not overpowered, but they're not awful.
Like
but,
they all have use.
but you're still probably taking Morbid, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, it's because Morbid wasn't as good as it was.
It's definitely worse now. It definitely got worse, but
It took a hit.
it took a hit. But I don't think it's enough yet.
Meh.
Well, and what's nice is though, Morbid's synergy with Gloomspite is really nice because in Honesty you're casting Sneaky Distraction so much, you're gonna ignore. You're either getting Purple Sun out or you're getting Gravetide out. You're not really gonna go for both, and then you'll throw Shackles out.
Yeah.
So you're not giving them that bonus to banishment all that often. I've never used Maelstrom with Gloomspite just because I'd rather have.
You're definitely not
minus
using
one
it
hit
now. It got so much worse with it having to explode now. Okay, cool. All right, let's get into the heroes. Now remember, this is with the updated points. I think Kragnos is definitely in talk now.
Kragnos hurts.
580 is pretty good for him. So
Like 680, he was just too much, and I was just like, no. But 580,
it's
oh,
definitely
man.
in the conversation now.
And Kragnos single-handedly counters a lot of things that are very prevalent, like Lumineth.
Yeah. And stuff that, Gitz doesn't go really well into, right? So Kragnos is kind of that staple up on those monsters and stuff that maybe would be difficult for just the regular Warscrolls for Gitz, right?
Yeah, I like Scragnos. I like Kragnos.
Yeah, I do like
Scragnot.
Kragnos. Scragnot is no longer an auto-include. I'll say that. He is no longer an auto-include.
I rarely use them. I just don't.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of lists with him still, so I know he's still being used, but I don't think I
see
use him
his
in my
use.
list. Yeah.
I definitely see his use.
Yeah.
But you're taking him for a once per game, make sure the moon gets in the right position, and then a 2 cast for 230
That's all he
points.
does for you. And
he does have a very nice damaging spell.
He
which
does.
Is,
Casting on a 7 now is a little tougher,
Yeah,
and losing the
that's problem.
+1 to casting
The +1
hurts.
to cast is the biggest thing. If
Here's
he had
the
the
thing.
+1 to cast, he would go up on my list quite a bit.
I'm gonna. So he went up in points. He's 230 now. Would you rather have Scragrot, or, hear me out, because this is what I do, a Fungoid and a Gobapalooza for 20 points more?
I mean, obviously that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that.
Yeah, you get
Honestly,
a
on
lot
this,
out of that.
I think Fungoid and Rabble Rouser are the two you have to have at least one of those in your army list.
Rabble Rouser is incredible in this army.
It is phenomenal. I don't always run it. I've had it single-handedly in a game get me 10 points or net gain me 10 points.
Yeah.
Fungoid is such a 100-point one cast wizard, once per game, second cast. He's just great.
Yeah.
A 100-point cast wizard. I would much rather have Rabble and Fungoid over Scragrot. There's just so much more value there.
Agreed.
And then you
100%.
get to the Loon Boss and you're like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, Loon
What?
Boss, you were too generous with this because you're never gonna.
Even at
As long
90
as
points, I'm
Stabbers
not
are
taking
bad,
him.
Loon Boss is bad.
Yeah.
Every
even-
hero is
yeah.
dependent upon the units that they are meant to go with.
Yep.
Loon Boss is not good because Stabbers are not good.
Yes, correct. 100%.
Because you haven't put it out. Why do you take Rabble Rouser? Very simple. He's just a deep striker
That pulls like Squig Herd with him.
that can
or
make
a monster.
Squig Herd. That can make Squig Herd and monsters have run in charge.
Yep.
You can also
Oh.
use
At
him.
line of
No.
sight, not even within a range, just line of sight.
So, you know what you could
Yeah.
do is put Kragnos and Rabble Rouser. And then your Kragnos is run in
That's-
charge and 3d6 charge. So he's getting to wherever he needs to go.
Yep.
Those two are just crazy.
And he's
together.
bringing those squigs with him.
Yep.
The other crazy thing though with Rabble Rouser that a lot of people don't talk about, he actually holds his own pretty well. His shooting attack
yeah.
is okay. He's able, like, I've had him, probably one of the most memorable moments for me at Old Town Throwdown against Nighthaunt. Rabble Rouser deep strikes, takes an objective for me, and gets me a battle tactic. So nets me 6 points in one turn. Then on the next turn, I have him shoot, charge, Spirit Host to take another objective and get me another battle tactic with Do Not Waver, which got me another 6 points.
That little goober.
And he actually killed 2 Spirit Hosts. His attack is actually like 5 attacks on
Fours,
fours and fours,
minus
1
one.
rend, 2 damage.
D3 damage.
D3 damage, I'm sorry.
He can
Yeah.
definitely hit above his rate for sure.
You need at least one of those 2 models in your list. In my opinion.
Rabble Rouser
Agreed.
is very good.
I think Rabble Rouser's more than the Fungoid Cave Shaman.
Yep.
Just because you can make anyone a caster. But
Yeah.
Next on here, Dankold Trogboss, which did go up 10 points, but he's still really good. You bring him for the +1 to attacks. He's going to be in every Trog list. Trug is good, but I've seen him in and out of a Trog list. So he's not an auto include, but he is still very, very good.
if you're going all Trogs, like he does
He's
benefit
a force
a lot.
multiplier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cameron.
Oh no, my wife gave me a drink.
Oh, Squig Boss. He's staple in Squig armies. You're going to see him if it's heavy Squigs. All right, so Loon Boss and Giant Cave Squig is a pass for sure. And then Zach, what are your thoughts on the Loon Boss and Mangler Squig?
So here's the thing, and I actually thought most of these heroes in general, Loon Boss and a Mangler Squig. Let's compare it to just a Dankold Trog Boss, which I will already say, a Dankold Trog Boss. The only reason you take it is for a cheap troll hero to be able to take trolls in your list. That's the only reason to take them.
And the +1 to attacks is really good.
On a 3-up.
Still
Yeah.
very good.
On a 3-up, you're getting it.
It's good, but you're not.
Yeah, it's good.
Realistically
It's not like
taking it for it.
amazing.
Okay,
Take a
fair.
look at like compared to other support heroes like the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal from Cities, that's 60 points cheaper, and offers more support than the Trog Boss. It's just one of those things. Trog Boss. The main reason you take Trog Boss over Trug is because you can make him a 1-cast wizard and make him -1 to hit.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
As the points are now going up, Trog Boss is at the same price point as Scragrot, And so now you kind of have this like, if I want trolls or I want Scragguard or I want Trog boss. Trug I think is just good if you're running like 12 to 18 trolls. Trug is just good. The Mangler Squig, you compare that to the regular Mangler Squig, the non-hero one, just the monster, and it's 30 points more. You have a slightly better melee attack with the Mooncutter, but other than that, it just does not survive anything. It just can't. It has a 5-up armor save, so most rend is gonna go right through. You're talking it's D6 plus 8, and it doesn't even have like what I think is really good about the Mangler over the Loon Boss on Mangler is the combat phase 3d6 move.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to charge and then bounce over and hit backline, I think is just, I'd pay 30 points less just for that ability.
It does have a nice, like, you slam into something and then you, let's see. Oh no, that's only if this unit is destroyed. Never mind.
Well, the Mangler with the Loon Boss does have impact damage of a die for each model in the enemy unit, max of 10, 4-up deal immortal. It's the same as it was before, it's okay.
5 damage, maybe.
Yeah.
I just think his attacks are super swingy, man. Like, and
They are. The D3 and D6 on the damage for something that can't even be buffed because they're both companion weapons.
Right. I mean, you can do all-out attack, which is almost necessary on this guy, because you're paying 260 points and he's hitting on 4s, right? So
Yeah.
you almost have to use all-out attack on him, which means you're not using it for something else, right?
Yeah,
So,
like, would you rather do all attack on him to make him useful, or
rockets.
all out attack 6 rockets?
exactly.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. So that's why I don't like him, is he's just too swingy for me. He's just too swingy. And you know me, I'm going to be rolling those 1s and 2s, and he's going to do, like, net of, like, 2 damage. All right. Anything else on this list that you want to go over?
No.
Poor Loon Boss on
Not
Giant
really.
Cave Squig. Makes me sad.
Loon Boss on Giant Cave Squig is fun, though. I actually, like, because he's not reliant on the charge to be able to have someone else fight, that makes him actually, like...
Sure.
I like him a little bit, and he's a cheaper way to get bounders and stuff.
Sure.
He's not like amazing, but
yeah.
130 points for...
He's cool looking. That's why I like him.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the last one. Oh boy, makes me sad. The Web Spinner Shaman's actually good. He's got a really good spell. But I want to cast him. Yeah. So it's the hold on. Great spell. Web Spinner Shaman.
Are you sure about
No, I'm thinking. Hold on. Web Spinner Shaman. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Are
the
you
run.
thinking
It's the
are you
run
thinking
shoot
the
charge. It's the run shoot charge, not the Web Spinner Shaman on Spider. The Web Spinner Shaman, the foot guy.
the base web spinner with the run and
Very
charge?
good.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah,
the
but
run
the
and
problem
charge.
is it's run
It's
in
Spider
charge
Fang.
for Spider Fang,
Yes,
which
I
means that
understand
you're not going to take it.
Right, sure. In a Spider Fang list, you'll take it.
Yeah,
What-
the hard part is Web Spinner Shaman I think is a great model, and I think it's very good, and I use it all the time in third. And especially with the web slingshot, I think that alone makes it really good.
It's really good, yeah.
Being able to, on a 2-up, teleport
I mean, it's
is
good.
pretty nice.
Yeah, I definitely like it.
You just can't put him into a regiment.
well,
he
and
has
yeah, and you
You just can't, and he can't have anything in his.
yeah, you're building for that guy, which kind of sucks because you're not going to.
Yeah.
Again, from a competitive standpoint, you're not taking it, but still. And
For
then
spiders only, he's great.
Web Spinner Shaman on
Yeah.
Spider is garbage. Too expensive. I cannot believe the spiders are this much. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Makes me sad. All right.
But they're big and scary.
They're bad. is what
They
are.
put too much value on the spider's ability to do crit mortals.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
I mean, honestly, if you were looking at just the web spinner shaman on the spider, if you gave him 8 spider fang attacks, so he had 8 dice instead of 4 on crit mortals doing 3 mortals, you could even reduce the amount of other attacks, and I think it'd be significantly better because you're just finally rolling more dice.
Yeah. I mean, if you're good at rolling 6s, play spiders.
5s.
No, if you're good at rolling 6s, play Kruleboyz.
That's also true. All right, Gobblepalooza. Fantastic. Very, very good.
Once more, he was good last edition. He's good this edition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Sneaky Snufflers are actually pretty good. And then Loose Smasher Fanatics can do some serious damage as long as you can position them correctly and get them in without them, because they will die to a swift breeze, and I mean to a swift breeze. But boy, if you get them in, they are doing some damage.
I love Loon Smash Fanatics.
They're great.
Every single time I see one, I always love them. And I think they got better this edition than last edition to a certain extent because there's now no more Stomp.
Yes, that's a good point.
And Stomp was like the bane of these guys' existence because it's only 5 health at a 6-up save.
I still remember
That's it.
popping out the Loon Smash in the old edition. I remember popping out the Loon Smasher Fanatics against Camaron, and then I totally spaced that he could just shoot them when I charged, and he just shoot all the Loon Smashers off, and I was like, cool, that was a great waste of time. But yeah, definitely learned something there. I totally spaced that you could shoot those guys, and it was bad. But anyway, they're very good. Anything else on this page?
Yeah, the only downside to the Fanatics is you got to run Stabas. That's going to be, like, I'm going to tell you right now, Stabas could drop 20 points, and I'm still going to think they're hot garbage. Because they are.
They're not good.
Out of all the Horde units in this game,
they're the worst.
They're the worst.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yep, I agree.
Let's see. Now I want to look
Snarlfang Riders I actually think are really good, but they don't have a Moonlight ability. So, like, a free redeploy every turn, every movement phase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every enemy movement.
I just want to spend 140 points on something else. That's a problem.
Like Fanatics.
Yeah.
Gotta love those bastards.
Yeah.
And they're just goofy looking.
Yeah, they are.
All right, so let's move on. Mangler Squigs, they're fine. They're too expensive. God,
Stabas are 140 points.
Dude, it's not good.
Yeah.
You get 20 of them. They're
At
sad.
a 5-up armor.
Yeah, they're
Let's
really
see
bad.
here.
And they don't even have -1 to hit anymore. It's now if there's an enemy infantry unit within an inch, or is maybe within combat range.
Yeah, it's combat range.
On a 2-up.
It's on a 3-up.
It's on a 3-up. I'm sorry. They're worse than I thought.
It's bad. They're bad. They're just bad. They're just bad. Like they would. I wish they had the at least the least they could have done was kept they gain objective control outside like 9 inches or something. Give it something.
Give it something.
They're
Even like the
bad.
Shootas, 150 points now for 20. I'm gonna tell you right now, you get maybe 2 to 3 damage off.
Oh,
maybe.
Maybe.
5 was it 5s and 4s or 4s and 5s? Like it's a
5s.
shitty
2
shooting
attacks
attack.
each.
No rend.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad. I mean,
Yeah.
Again, Shootas and Stabas are a pass.
I do have to say, still better than zombies.
Yeah, zombies at least have support pieces though that can help them.
Not really.
Not anymore. They used to. They're real bad now. You know what? Zombies actually might be worse. I hate to say it.
Zombies are worse.
I hate to say it. I think they're worse. If the corpse cart still existed the way it did in 3rd edition, zombies would be much
that got
better.
changed.
But now that they don't have that, they're bad. Zombies are
So
really
let me
bad.
give you a comparison. The Stabas are 10 points cheaper and double the amount of attacks, as well as they have a standard Barret and Musician, and they have the ability to strike one hit. What the zombies have is if you kill them on a 6-up, you take damage.
It's not even a 5-up. They're real
Not even
bad.
a
They
5-up.
are really bad. Zombies. Yeah, you might.
And
be
you can
right.
heal them as well, but you could do the same thing with
I mean,
Stabas.
sure. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
sure. If
you're
I'm
not
running a
taking any
loon
of them.
boss, I can bring back like D6 of them or D3 of them, whatever it is. But no one's gonna run a regular loon boss.
Yeah, and you're not going to do that anyways. But
Why
you can
not?
also bring him back with the shrine.
One thing you are bringing are Squig Herd, because they are
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
super,
are great.
super good. They are so good. For 100 points, these things. I remember my 7th game against Jed. He ran, 24 of these?
Yeah,
And-
reinforced is 24.
Yep, and he went into Durthu and annihilated him. Just absolutely annihilated him.
With
Wasn't even-
Squigalanch, on the charge, Squigherd has 80 attacks.
Yeah, and Zach, you've done it multiple times to me. Like, those things hit like a truck and
Oh, yeah.
anything. They are just crazy good.
Even with 3 attacks each, even if you charge them, like our last game with the
Yeah.
Sickblade Seekers that you charged into them.
Yep.
Yeah, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage, 3 attacks each. That's the big one. And they synergize really well with the Squig boss, who can give them crit mortals on your turn. It only lasts for the turn, so...
Still, that's all you need it for, though.
That's all you need it for, if you get a good charge in.
Especially with... You compare that with Rabble Rouser, now they're run charge. You're going to
Yeah.
get anywhere they want. Like, they're really good. I really do. The fact that they didn't go up in points in the balance update is a little surprising to me.
Unfortunately, Squigs are kind of like the sleeper in
They are.
Gloomspite right now.
The
It's
more...
a whole different playstyle than what, like, Trolls are. It's a playstyle that, like, I'm very familiar with because of 3rd edition.
Yep. I think the more rock guts go up, the more we're going to see a bunch of Squig Herd.
It's going to be very funny. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have rock cuts go up points, and then we're going to slowly have the squig go up points because people are going to realize how good they are.
Yeah. Well, and then honestly, there's a couple more sleepers that we haven't quite talked about that I think will be really good once rockets go up, because I'm of the opinion if the rockets go up a bit more, I'm running like 6 to 12. You know, maybe 3 blocks to 3. You know, 2 blocks to 6 type of rocket deal. That's kind of like my plan is for just casual games right now. But
rockets are so good. Like we talked about this before. They can go up like another 40 points, and you'll still see people taking a group of 6.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. All right, so let's get there's a controversy between these two. I like Boingrat Bounders more, but man, I've heard a lot of fight between these two. Most people that I listen to or watch like the Squig Hoppers more, and I can't understand why. So, you guys, what do you guys take? Which one's your better bet? I'm a Bounders fan for sure.
I'm very big on Bounders.
Okay.
The main reason with Bounders being 120 for 5, I know Hoppers are 170 for 10.
Yep.
But Bounders come with 1 better armor save, so they're a 5 instead of a 6. They come with impact damage. And, you know, just having a group of 5 is good for, like, flanks and stuff like that. Like, Camaron knows, a couple of early 4th edition games, I was running 2 units of 5 Bounders. Hoppers, yes, they do have, like... Let me pull them up really quick.
They're slightly faster.
They're slightly faster, lower armor, and their attacks are not as good.
And they do some mortal damage when they pass.
So, a big thing to keep in mind with
mortal damage is not going to happen.
Any Squig unit will always have the mounts at 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage.
Yeah.
So both these units have that.
Yeah, Boingrat
Bounders though just have the better.
charge.
Yeah, they on the charge having the extra damage on their lance attacks, and I've been testing it. I've been playing with it a bit lately, making them my honor guard and giving them like anti-infantry, anti-cavalry on the charge, or anti-monster on the charge.
Makes them a lot better. Now they're 2 rend, 2 damage.
2 rend, and then if you have Gaba, you can make that a 3 rend.
It's pretty
with
good.
2 damage
It's
apiece,
pretty good, yeah.
and it's 71 attacks. So their lance is 3 attacks each on Bounders. For 240 points, you get 3 attacks each on the lances. So you're talking 31 attacks on 4s and 4s, 3 rend with all those buffs, 2 damage apiece.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I
Granted,
think
they die to a stiff breeze.
I just don't understand why people like the Hoppers more. Maybe it's just the speed.
It's
So-
twice as many wounds.
Yeah.
Hoppers twice as many wounds as well as they're faster.
Yeah.
It's just they don't do as much damage. And the thing about Squigs is that they're meant to be a shock cavalry where they need to run in there and deal as much damage as possible.
You're not using them as an anvil.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're not meant to be an anvil. And I think, but the Hoppers, like, they're a wounds anvil. They shouldn't be, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I think collectively we're all Bounders.
Yeah, I like Bounders.
I could see Bounders going up 20 points and still being good.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know if they go up that much. It's gonna definitely.
If they go up 20 points, I might
consider
look into
Hoppers.
I'd see
Hoppers,
I
but-
still see like a block of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I agreed. A block of 10 Bounders, just having one of those is a very good shock cavalry.
Yeah. Because they're going to lift. I had a block of 10 lift 5 gluttons or something
It's not bad.
without crit mortals.
Yeah.
And it was only the rend 1, no rend buffs or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just a crap ton of
That's
attacks.
just
Does a lot of
vanilla.
damage.
10 bounders, lifted 5 gluttons.
All right, and then we get to the rocket part of this. In my opinion, they're the best infantry in the game. I don't see anything else that's better than that. When I say this, I mean with all of their buffs, like with them being in the moon, with them getting the +1/+2 attacks, you know, -2 rend, 3 damage. I think these are one of the best infantry in the game, and they're still super good.
I don't know much that's better than them.
Yeah,
I can't think
there
of
isn't
anything.
much that's.
I can't think.
Rock
of
guts are the. They're just a staple right now.
Yeah.
You run 2 blocks of 6. You run a couple blocks of 3. You know.
2 blocks
Me
of
and Colt
6
go back
would-
and forth all the time as to how to structure it, but like we both agree, run a lot of rock guts.
Yeah, I mean, you run
Yeah.
2 blocks of 6. These are probably not dying the entire game. Like they just probably are not dying.
I do the Iron Gut check. Can you survive a round of fully buffed Iron Guts? And the answer is yes. Yes, they can.
That's so funny. Yep.
Much to my chagrin.
They passed the Iron Gut check. Fellwaters are, I think, the only reason you would take these is in a mirror match.
Not even then.
I think 1 unit of Fellwaters.
But I think you're only using that in a mirror match. I don't think.
I honestly disagree with that.
Yeah.
And the main reason is because of the same cost as rock guts right now. Fellwaters lost a lot. They no longer have a -1 to hit in combat. They're 5 up armor. Yes, they can still do some damage, or they actually still do good damage. I can't say they don't. But Fellwaters just their shooting attack, because armor went down globally in the game. Very few things actually, like there's nothing that rock guts weren't already going to go through the armor of that Fellwaters are helping with.
Minus your mirror match.
Even in the mirror match. In the mirror match, a fully buffed rock guts, you still put them to. You keep them on a 4-up save.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, yeah,
What's
maybe they're not.
the-
Yeah,
well,
maybe they're not that useful.
How well do you think they'll do against was it Slaves of Darkness, getting things up to like a 2-up save?
They're just the shooting attack being 6 inches.
That's the problem. Is the shooting
is the
attack
main like if the
so
shooting attack
short.
was larger, or actually in here sleeper nerf that no one really talks about, going from Unleash Hell to Cover Fire. Unleash Hell was great with Fellwaters because I could run 6 rock guts, put
And
3
put them-
Fellwaters behind them,
Yep,
and Unleash
exactly.
Hell.
Yep, that's what Garen did a lot of.
Right. You can't do that anymore. Now you have to Cover Fire, which is before charges. So you just have to be. Yeah, you could be like 3 inches away, or you might be 6 inches away and banking on a larger charge.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually didn't think about that. Like you can't use cover fire the same way you can with Unleash Hell. So
No, they do have shooting
Fellwaters
combat.
Yeah, Fellwaters are actually worse.
I like the Dankhold Troggoth, though. I will say,
Yeah.
I like him almost more than the Fellwaters.
Okay.
Okay.
Mostly
fair.
because he can solo a Frosthorn.
Well, I don't know if that's because the Dankhold's good or if the Frostlord is just really bad.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider Riders
All right.
are still fine. They're
I'll
still
agree with the
cheap.
Fellwaters just because it's 6-inch range.
It is 6-inch
That's-
range.
Yeah.
That's
So bad.
abysmal.
Yeah, it's bad. I do still see Spider Riders in the mix. They're cheap
Yeah.
cavalry, so 110.
Was it
points is-
110
Yeah,
for
110.
5? Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I think it was 12 or 14-inch move or something. Like,
I mean, they're good to get. They're your objective and battle tag getters, right? So
Yep, that's all.
I
That's all
think they're
there for.
solid. The hardest part is getting them into a regiment.
that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. We get into the spider part. These are just bad. I mean,
I love the flinger.
yeah, except
flinger's
it's
so-
270 points.
I don't care. I want to use the
Yeah.
flinger.
Bad. It's so bad.
The flinger's so stupid. I love it.
I like it. I just wish it was cheaper. I want spiders to be good. So Games Workshop, I know you don't watch this, but if you ever do, please make them good. Please make.
Honestly, I
spiders
think
good.
a lot of the spiders have really good rampage abilities.
No,
They're
they're
so
great.
good.
The abilities are great. The problem is they're not alive by the time you can use them.
Right.
They just die to a swift breeze. Like give them a ward or give them something, right? Like they're just really bad. They're not very good. and everything's hitting on 4s or 5s. It's just not good.
Yeah, it's the problem with the army that like all the really big things hit on 4s. So, like, why would you do anything but one big unit of trogs? Because I'm going to be using my all attack there, and that's the only place I'm going to be able to get buffs to hit.
If they if they doubled all of the spider fang attacks throughout the entire spider line, would you take them?
I think they'd be actually kind of horrifyingly oppressive.
Yeah,
Really?
that'd be actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So here's the
if you
thing. So
double
like
them,
even
maybe.
let's look at something as simple as the spider riders with that scenario.
Okay, yeah, maybe
So
not.
spider riders
It'd be 4
on their
attacks each.
mounts,
So it'd be 21
4 attacks each, critting on 5s
Yeah,
for
right,
1
okay,
mortal.
yeah. So that's the
that's-
problem. See,
That's
how do you
20 attacks with a third of those
yeah.
just mortals.
How do you balance the spiders? Like you just they've wrote them
It's
in a
a-
position where you can't.
It's all RNG. Like maybe if you, I don't know how you fix spiders.
I don't even.
Maybe make actually make their other weapons a little better. Make them less reliant on the crit mortals.
There you go.
They,
Okay.
they have the same problem that Kruleboyz have.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
like-
Only
actually, yeah.
Kruleboyz, their attacks aren't so bad.
They're the same thing pretty much.
God.
Yeah, they're not too far different. It's just that Kruleboyz at least have other units that can, things like the Gut Rippers, who arguably are some of my favorite in that line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think
Uh,
Kruleboyz are the problem.
Third edition Kruleboyz is exactly the problem that these guys have.
Yeah.
All right, and then the Badminton Shrine is
The thing that
Sure.
makes the entire army.
correct. It's
Yeah,
so good.
it's everything.
It is. And even
Right.
if you lose it, you're still fine. But like, it is a really good.
Every single time I fight Gitz, I always tell my opponent I'm going to destroy that Loon Shrine, and I will.
It's like I'm doing it. It is definitely happening. It's just
Because
getting
every
to the
single
damn
time I
thing.
don't, I lose.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've had games where I've had my opponents have that same mindset. And granted, Cameron's really good at backing that, but I've had my opponents go for it and then fail to realize I had nothing to bring back. And
But
so
you
they just
can.
gave me another turn of whacking them.
I know, but still, you the fact that you can bring stuff back. That's
Yeah, it's a CP. I mean, the amount of times I brought stuff on a 4-up back in 3rd edition,
Oh,
rolling twice, it would maybe be like,
Yeah.
I swear I never made 4-ups.
Yeah, the old version where it was a 4-up it felt
This
a lot
is just
worse.
so much more consistent and easier to balance in my mind.
mm-hmm. Agreed.
Still
I think
really good.
honestly, this faction pack way better than what Gloomspite was at last year, or with 3rd edition.
way better.
Your only big issue, and honestly, I didn't even think the heroes needed the Trug and Trog boss
I
didn't
think
need
it's
to go up in
rockets.
points.
It's just rockets.
Rockets.
It's just Ruckets.
It
Maybe
literally-
slightly Squig Herd, and that's just because I'm
Slightly.
salty.
Yeah,
Slightly.
Squig Herd
They-
comes from the fact that I literally wall you with Rockets and then hit you with Squigs.
I think
Mhm.
Squig Herd is they're just a point differential. We just need to get their points to where they're supposed to be, but rockets, man, if we could
But
just,
if you upgrade Squig Herd's points, you got to change Bounders, you got to change Squig Hoppers, you got to change the entire Squig line because they're pointed out as to be
I don't
like.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Squig Herd
so.
have
I also don't
Squig Herd
think
have
so.
their own thing.
I
'cause
think
they're
Squig Herd
healers.
are just too efficient. I think they're just too efficient.
If they go up to 120 though, I can see Bounders just being the better option.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think right now, just give them a 10-point increase. Like at least
Yeah,
do
but-
that.
My big thing is what's going back to Squig Herd is that you have one reinforced Squig Herd unit, and then you could take 20 damage and be like, oh no, 9 come back.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's my only problem with it. Is just like they're a problem because you damage them, you take damage back, and then they just keep coming back.
Correct. Yeah. I think if you, I definitely think the recursion's the problem for them for sure.
Yeah, if they didn't have the recursion, I think their points would be actually
Fine.
like 100% fine.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But it's the recursion with the damaging them back, with the 5-up ward back, 5-up damage back.
All right,
It's the same problem that old zombies had.
We get to Regiments of Renown. The only one that you would take in here is the Cruel Shots for the shooting, which I still think is pretty good. I think
Yeah.
the Cruel Shots Regiment of Renown is probably the best regiment of Renown in the game.
100% agree.
I don't think there's anything that's close to
It's
that.
definitely like top 3 in the game. Definitely the best destruction one, though.
100%. Not even. It's not even a question. Like, it is so efficient for 340 points for their shooting. It's really good.
Yeah.
We'll see if that gets beat out by the new Skaven ones. But right now, I think Kruleboyz is my favorite regiment.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, and then Army of Renown is not good. You just pass on this, right, Zach?
I've read it once. I was like, I'd rather just run Truckard.
Yeah.
Because now the Trug's aura is now an aura, not board. You know, he has it's just 12 inches of him. Significantly better to just have him outside of his regiment.
100%.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
they just took all the benefits of the old Trogard. They gave it to him normally, and they're like, oh, hey, here's some scraps, I guess, to make the regiment better.
Yep. All right. Summary of Gitz. Agree. Again, kind of some poor internal balance here. Obviously, one is more powerful than the other. But again, after we talk about this, I think it is just that one unit.
It's just the one unit.
Just fix the one unit, and you fix the internal balance issue.
Like it goes down. That one unit makes this army like, oh my god, I don't want to play this army.
Correct.
And like if they changed that, I'd be like, Squig Herd is tough, but manageable.
Correct.
Yeah.
Again, I said nerfs are incoming for Trogs. Do we get Buster Spiders? Obviously, this was pre-balance update. Obviously, Spiders still are bad, and Trogs probably didn't go up enough. We will find out, but if I had to guess, I don't think they're moving all that much. Squigs are still very decent. Even without the double reinforce, like they're still really good. You can reinforce them once and they're still really good.
Yep.
And recursion is still very strong in this army.
Yeah, all the times I've lost against it, it's always the recursion that gets me.
And that's
not
a
even
huge
for
mechanic
me.
with Gitz.
I literally just could not get through rockets. That was my biggest problem. Is like I cannot kill them. They are just too hard to kill. Cool. Anything else for the overall on Gitz?
They're still probably one of the best armies. I think they're one of the best armies if you run trolls.
Yeah.
However, this is a very popular army with a lot of people having it, and so you won't really see it being on the top, like stats wise, because people love to have fun with their little tiny goblins.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting to see what the stats are if they broke these sub-factions down, right? It'd be very interesting to see.
Well, obviously, Squigalanche and Trogherd are the best battle formations that we're looking at, but overall, like, I know, like, we talked about Henry and, like, how he got 7th. Like, he placed, like, one spot higher than me at Smite Club, and it was by, like, 2 points.
Yeah.
That was... but either way, it was, like, his 3rd game. You know, he'd only played, like, 1 game of that list prior, and that was against me. We did a mirror match to kind of help him get familiar with it. Trolls is very easy to pick up.
It is.
When you start throwing things like Squigs and a lot of the Moon Clan or a lot more of those support units in there,
it's a lot
that's
tougher.
when you start to add in a bit of like,
You
how
gotta
many
know.
do I need? What do I need to balance
And
this
where are they going? Like, what are they going into? Like, you have a lot more. There's like it's a lot tougher to play like Squigs and goblins and stuff like that against other opponents rather than just using Trogs and just kind of moving up. Make sure they're in the moonlight, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
I think when you start getting into the Squig play style, they're a lot tougher to master, I think. Cool. Anything else? Are we good? Moving on to an army that's very different. Bonesplitterz. A very different army. We'll crank through this because there's not much to them. They're sunset next year. Not many options here. It's not great. They're not competitive. I don't think they're competitive. They win basically by having body count.
Hey, that's all you need.
I guess.
With damage dropping, that's a huge thing.
And also thank you for changing the profit because that thing's stupid. All right. Anything else for the overview? I know you guys haven't looked at this all that much as far as Bonesplitterz.
I remember looking through a good portion of this.
Okay.
I think Bonesplitterz is fun. I think it like a person who has Bonesplitterz can have fun playing the army, but the entire point of this army is to have an absolutely ridiculous amount of models on the field with wounds on the field.
Yes.
And then just rushing forward and then burying your opponent in dice.
Yeah. And even then, I still don't think it's very good.
Like, it's not amazing, but, you know, you bury your opponent in dice.
You know what? I feel bad for all the Bonesplitterz players that did this strategy and painted all of those models, and now they're
and then
they're gone.
And like even like their abilities are good. Like
their abilities are actually pretty good. It's the army is like the actual Warscrolls are really bad, but their faction abilities are really good.
Like faction ability, their battle formations, all their stuff is good. I think they took a massive hit once they changed the Prophet, because the Prophet was carrying this army like a going up the hill.
It was a great model.
Still to this day, it is the worst game I've ever played of Age of Sigmar was against Greg when he took Bonesplitterz to Smite Club.
Yep.
And you know, it's one thing, I always tell this to people when they ask about, you know, the Prophet. It's one thing to like have like a thing of Vanguard go into your unit, right? And you just like pick up your unit and you remove it, right? But it's a completely different experience when you remove your entire unit one at a time from a stupid little Prophet. So it's like, oh, yep, okay, well, this pig's gone. Okay, this pig's gone. All right, keep rolling. This pig's gone. It feels just so much worse.
Sitting across the table from your opponent, having a single dice going like, all right, take 2 damage. All right, take a damage.
Another 3 damage.
All right, take 3 damage.
God, it's
take 2 damage.
It's so
take
annoying.
3 damage. And you're just sitting there like, when is it going to end?
Yeah.
Does this ever
end?
end?
And Greg, I talked to Greg at this Smite Club, and he's like, man, I'm sorry, that was a really bad game for you. And I was like, he just rolled really well. Like, that thing just would not die, and it was just picking up units left and right.
And your opponent never understands how ridiculous it is. I played the Prophet, and I went up to my opponent. I said, "You need to stay 12 inches away from this guy."
Yes.
And they're like, "Okay," and then they don't. And then I pick up their giant, and it's just like, "I told you, I warned you."
Yeah, 6. Back when I played, it was 6. No, it was 6 or 9 blood crushers. I think it was 9 blood crushers, and he killed all of them. I just removed all of my 9 blood crushers, which are fat pigs, and he just killed them all with the Prophet. And I was like, dude, what? For 170 points? Freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so yeah, that's the old Bonesplitterz. That's what we will always remember Bonesplitterz as. That is not what they are anymore.
Correct. I agree. Zach, do you have anything on this? He's like, no.
No, not really. Sorry, Colt's messaging me. It's funny that we talk about goblins and Colt's messaging me about pure squigglists.
Of course he is. That psychopath.
He's looking to make someone's day miserable, and I don't want to know whose.
You say that, and he just sent the same thing to me.
Oh my gosh.
Some poor guy.
he doesn't talk to me, so it's fine. All right.
It's probably Joel.
Yeah, okay,
But no,
great.
honestly, Bonesplitterz battle traits, like, they look good. I like them. They're fun, and they're hard, like, they're not hard to use. It's simple. It's orcs. It's classic savage orcs.
Yeah, like, they're fun.
Yeah.
Just don't expect to 5-0 a tournament, because, like, they definitely have counters.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
So their battle traits are all really good. Again, we're going to go through this. We keep saying it. All of their stuff is really good. You have +1 to hit on the charge. Really good. Or no, sorry, +1 to wound on the charge, which is really good. They have a 5-up ward for one of their battle traits, which is really good. And then what was the other one? Some objectives. Which one is that one? Take the bait.
Like you can
that's
have
the
some
+1
people
to
have
attack
board to attack characteristic. Once per game, just all of your guys have a 5-up ward for the rest of that turn,
so good.
and all of your casters get an additional spell cast.
Yeah. All really good. These are all really, really good. Again, it's just when we get to the Warscrolls is when it starts to fall apart. Battle formations, they're fine. I don't think there's anything like game breaking. I think the Cop Ruck is the best one.
oh no, your opponent just doesn't get wards while I'm in combat.
Yes.
Or the brutal Rook, oh, half my army gets a free movement at
Correct.
the beginning of the game.
Still good.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the movement at the start of the game is great if you're deciding who's going first.
Which
War
honestly,
rolls
you
is
probably
always a good one if you have a good tanky hero or something.
I think.
Or just, oh, all of your cavalry are now anti-charge. Or, hey, one of your guys, I choose someone and all of my shooting now crits on 5-ups instead of 6s.
I don't know how I feel about the anti-charge, because I think I kind of agree with Joel on this, because I see it here, like, it's just weird. It's an army that wants to run forward and charge
Correct.
you.
Yeah, that was the one thing I read and I was like, this is a very weird.
Yeah, I have no idea why that's there.
Whatever. I mean, I think it's the
It's
worst.
I mean,
probably
it's
but
fine.
It's probably something to do with their lore.
Sure. I still think the Cop Rook is the best. Not having wards on your enemy units are really good. It's really good. But again, these sound good, but we'll get there. Heroic traits, decent. They're all decent. Kill Instinct was my favorite, which was the melee weapons of Crit Mortal. Pretty good on certain Warscrolls. Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, like it's
fine.
the problem is like their hero. They don't have big heroes.
Yeah.
I think there's one that I would put it on, and even then, you can't really trust it. So
Yeah, like it. They're okay. Like
fine.
even like my favorite's probably the one with the beast, which is just once per battle,
you get a
which
6
is like,
cast.
oh hey, I have a 6 cast. I can guarantee one of my spells.
If it doesn't get unbound, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? It's fine. They're fine.
Yeah. The heroic traits aren't bad.
Yeah, they're fine. Artifacts, glowing tattoos is obviously the best one. The 4 board is just.
The problem is like you're putting this on a small dinky little hero.
I know.
Yeah, they don't
that's
have
the
like.
problem.
They just don't have big heroes.
Correct.
If they had a big hero, these would all be great.
Exactly. Like,
They just need one
They
big
need
hero.
one big hero. Yes, I agree.
and you know what? I think the army would actually probably be competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Just because all their stuff is so good, they just don't have a good unit.
Yes, they don't have a good unit to put it on.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Spell lore. Their spell lore is actually pretty good. +1 to rend, pretty good. That's also including the companion weapons, also really good. They've got a horde spell, and then the other one was -1 to charge rolls, which is from the dice. So you actually
All their spells are so
Yeah,
good.
those are actually all really good.
yes,
reading
they're
through
really,
those.
really,
and they're
really
all
good.
6 casts.
Yes.
Actually, and the rend spell to add 1 to the rend is they're unlimited.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, again, really good. And then we're gonna get to their Warscrolls and you'll be like, what are you doing with this army?
And don't worry, they also have a prayer lore
Yes.
as well.
And they're okay. They're not as good as the spell lore. They're fine.
I don't know. +1 to charge is kind of nice.
Let's see,
+1 to
+1
charge.
On a 3-up.
charge.
And then if you get
There's a heal. There's a
7
heal
up,
that
it's a running
returns
charge.
slain models.
Yeah, a heal that returns slain models is really nice. On a 4-up. That's on a 4-up, too.
Yeah. I definitely think their spells are better, but these are not bad. The Weird Dog Dance, but you're looking for the 11-up plus, and that is the let's see.
Your opponent loses. That's very weird. Your opponent loses some of their prayer stuff.
And then
And they
not use
can't unbind.
unbind abilities within 18 of the changer. That's fine.
Yeah.
It very much feels like a lot of their stuff is meant to be hero spam. But they
Yeah.
just don't have a hero.
Oh,
Actually, they
but
could
they're-
just Kragnos. Just Kragnos.
They can Kragnos, which I do rate him almost an auto include in this army. I mean, sorry.
Honestly-
Agreed.
Especially now at 580, like, yes. You're just going to always put him in. So let's just get into it. Kragnos, A+.
Right.
Almost an auto include in such a weak army, and it's true.
Yeah.
The Wargog Prophet. Again, I said how the mighty have fallen. He's definitely not as good as he used to be, but he's still okay.
He's still a double caster.
He's-
Yeah, he's a
Still okay.
2 cast with a spell to get a third to increase his power level another time.
And it's very funny. Like he has his. Again, he's so good. Still.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just.
he's still really good. He was just stupid before.
Yeah, he was crazy before, especially when you give him the 4-up ward and stuff. Like, he just becomes really, really good. The Savage Big Boss actually hits like a truck, man. He's got a 3 damage attack on 6 attacks. Like, the thing's good. It's just he's gonna die before he gets anywhere.
6 health on a 6-up save.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, he does have a 6-up ward though. That
Great.
makes it better.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh yeah, we had to preface every single unit either has a 5-up or a 6-up save.
Yeah. I think
And a
most of
6-up
them are
ward.
6. I think there's one.
6-up wards are the worst ward saves because they're like a hopeful save. They make you think you might survive something, and then you never make a 6-up.
I actually thought there was one unit in here that had a 4-up save, but nope, they are all 6 or 5. Gross.
They do have a unit with a 4-up save. It's Kragnos.
Okay, great.
No, he's a 5-up.
No, he's 4.
No, he's a 4-up.
He's a 4-up.
He's a 5-up ward.
He has a 5-up.
Oh, 5-up ward.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm mixing up. Thank you.
And then the only other one that I would call on this list is Wardok, because he is a cheap priest.
Yeah.
And that's it.
100 point for Priest 1. All right.
It's not bad. It's
Yeah.
not bad. It's fine. Cool. So down there. The only thing that's good in here are the Bonesplitterz and the Big Stabbas. Everything else is pretty much a pass.
Wardok has a once per turn pick an enemy wizard within 24 inches on a 3-up until your next turn. Anytime they use a spell or unbind, you gain a ritual point.
Yeah. For 100 points,
that's great.
That's fine. Yeah, that's. I mean,
For
I don't know if
100
it's
points?
great. I don't know if it's great. For 100 points, yes. For 100 points, it's good.
I'm not going to complain about that for 100 points.
Again, Savage Bonesplitterz are fine. They're probably the one thing you're running in here with Big Stabbas. Like, I think those are the only 2 things you run.
Yes, because Savage Bonesplitterz are, I think, the only thing that actually have rend naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that is so bad.
Oh no, sorry. The big boss stabbas, the big stabbas.
Yeah, the big
they have
stabbas.
a rend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You only take Bonesplitterz and Big Stabbas.
Yeah.
So the most rend you can get in this army
Is 1.
is Savage Bonesplitterz with a 2 rend
If you get the spell off.
your spell off.
Yes, correct. Which is still not bad.
And then everything in the army hits on a 4/3 or a 5/3.
Or 4/2. Big Stabbas are 4/2.
Yeah, big stab is
Okay.
Which, Big Stabbas, 3 attacks each, 4s, 2s, 1 rend, 2 damage, charge +1, and crit mortal. They're actually pretty good. And there's 2 of them. They're pretty good. It's just, and they're 4 wounds each. Again, the best way to win in this army is just flood the board with Big Stabbas. I mean, that's just the way it is. And then
That's like
Bonesplitterz.
4 boys.
I like the Big Stabbas. Like, getting
Oh yeah.
3
What about the
damage
Savage
crit
Orcs
mortal
look
is
like?
pretty good.
You could take both.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can take both. I mean, these are super cheap for what they are, right? And they should be.
Man, regular Savage Orcs, all their stuff screams, I want to be a wall, and then they have
Yeah.
a 5-up save.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what happened. Savage Orc. Why did I say? Not sure why its companion weapons pass. What is this? Oh, it only subtracts 1 from the attack features of companion weapons. Why are we like this? Why couldn't it just be all of the attacks? And I still don't know if I would take it. I don't understand why Arrow boys are like that. Like, you could have.
Well, and then they suffer from the same thing that goblins have to deal with, where their shooting attack is 5s and 4s.
Correct. They're garbage.
However,
They're really
they
bad.
do have crit auto wound.
Lucky
great.
them.
Wow, great.
I would hope
Hey.
they'd be a little better than goblins.
Yeah.
And they're cheaper.
140.
They have 15-inch range.
So do goblins.
I'm literally I'm still passing on both of them.
Yeah, I mean, you pass on it. I just think that's funny.
And that's it. That's their book.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yep.
That is the show.
We were amazed at their heroes. Like, the heroes are great.
Yeah, I
The
love the
traits
heroes.
are great.
They have 2
And then we
basically
get
2
down to-
units, and that's it.
Everything non. Yeah. I see. You played the faction that makes it so that you can have half your people
Move.
get a move.
Yeah.
And then you play Kragnos and
And you
some
just run trash.
spellcasters and
Yeah.
then some boar boys. And then you just rush everything first turn.
Flood the board with as many big stabbers as you can and call day.
Because everything's relatively cheap.
Yeah.
You just start reinforcing a bunch of big stabbers. Kragnos gives them all 3d6 charge.
Yeah.
You move twice.
And it's
3d6
funny,
charge.
we get to the Regiments of Renown, and all of these are good.
Yeah.
All of these are
Everything
good.
that's not part of their army is good.
Yes, like if you put the Gitz regiment in here, I think it's really good. I also think the Krul shots are really good. I think you are definitely taking one of these in this army. But
Yeah, Krul shots brings you the much needed shooting that I think every destruction army just needs outside of Kruleboyz.
Yep.
The bottle snatches. I think are the fact that everything can deep strike in there. They just have to come within like combat range of the rabble rouser.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You get 12 squigs. You get a Gaba. Gaba's just good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely think you're taking one of these for sure.
Yeah. And then hoppers. I think hoppers are fine.
Yep.
I love it.
All right. Overall, obviously there wasn't much meat here as this gets sunset. I mean, they're not spending a lot of time on this, which you can tell.
No.
Only way to be competitive here is what we talked about: amass as many bodies as possible.
Yeah, I could see you going 4-1 with this army just by the sheer amount of bodies you could put on the field.
Yep.
And almost all of them have, hey, if I'm in combat or if I'm near an objective, I get plus to my objective control. And your opponent's going to be, I've seen people fight them, and it's just like, I could kill them. I killed like a unit every turn. I couldn't take the objectives.
Yes, exactly.
There's just so many of them.
And then I said regiments of renown are almost required in this, and then do these come back? Do you think once they get sunset, you think they're going to old world, or are they just done?
They'll go
Old world.
Old world.
Okay. All right, and that's it. Anything else I missed for these guys?
I put my tiers of B because of my same thing of I don't think people are going to expect them.
Okay, sure.
People are not going to expect them, and then they're going to go like, oh, that's 30 wounds there, and that was only 300 points, and it's already hitting me for turn 1. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
They have a
right.
lot of surprise factor.
They do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to actually. I think I have this army, and I think it's all painted. I think I have like
Try it out.
I have a. Let me see. I'm actually gonna check how many big stabbas do I have.
I don't think the big stabbers are what you want to hoard, though.
I think the Boar Boys are just kind of like the go-to.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
and
still
that was
think
in
the
third
big
edition, too.
stabbas are really good.
Take like 1 or 2 units of big stabbers. I wouldn't take more than that, though.
I
Definitely run
have-
Kragnos in there. And I honestly think that's that's a core to a solid list.
All right, I'm just checking real quick. Savage Big Boss I have one of. I have 22 Stabbas. I have 30 Boar Boys.
Okay.
All right, yeah, you can run an army.
I could do
Yeah,
it.
you have the army right there.
There you go. That's the army, and then Kragnos.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
Actually, I don't think you have enough boar boys.
What do they come in? Are they 5s?
Yeah.
5, 10, 3 units, and then and then I just spam the rest of Stabbas. I don't know.
That's
Maybe-
900
maybe,
points. Kragnos is 14.
Maybe
80.
I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it one
Get a
of these days.
Wargog in there. Probably get a priest or 2.
All right. Anyway, so moving on. Let's move on to Ironjawz. Okay. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Ironjawz.
I like Ironjawz.
I like them.
All right. So lots of the old mechanics have been scaled down. They're not as crazy as they used to be. Playstyle is still the same for the most part. You're trying to get in and do as much damage. I will say that's probably a little bit different as the meta has shifted, because I think instead of going mass pigs or anything like that, you're seeing a lot of foot heroes like brutes and stuff.
Yeah.
Decent internal balance for the most part. For the most part, I guess. Now thinking about it, like, no, I think they're okay for internal balance.
There's some balance. There's some things that internally that I'm like the Maw Crusher.
Yeah, the Mega Boss. Don't get me started on the Foot Hero Mega Boss. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He went down in points and it's still not enough. The lack of ward really hurts this army. They really suffer from not having a ward. Objectives and tactics might be difficult as you'll be stuck in combat with most of your units. They play pretty honest Warhammer. There's not very many tricks and shenanigans they have.
They're a very slow and steady army that goes forward and hits.
Yeah.
And they're tanky and they hit hard. It's just they're slow and steady.
And I think they're pretty swingy now. I don't think they're as
yeah, because everything's fours, right?
Yes, which really hurts them. All right. Anything else I missed on the overview? Nope. All right. Cool. All right. Battle traits. Mighty Destroyers. Really good still. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's still good. It's only
1 unit, 3-inch move.
Yep. Still not like what it used to be. I mean, it used to be really good, but
you can do that during your opponent's turn, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah,
Every hero phase.
And
I think that's very good.
Yeah.
And then they did get a bonus on the balance update for the Ironjawz Wa. Now it can be done with every hero instead of just once per battle.
Which is massive.
Which is huge. It changes this army pretty extensively.
Yeah, I love that change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it so that you don't have to hold your shot until
Correct.
the key moment.
You can do it in waves. You can do it in waves.
Yeah.
Which is
it's still wholly within 18 of that hero.
Yes.
But like at the same time,
that's a lot though. That's really
huge.
Good. That's huge. Yeah.
And you can use it with Kragnos.
Yes, you can. Yeah, for sure.
But I think Kragnos with Ironjawz.
Oh, it's huge.
The best. Kragnos going down 100 points. Throw him to an Ironjawz list, and you cannot go wrong. He can replace your Maw Crusher because he's better than a Maw Crusher.
Yep.
Like he's just a wall of a melee hero.
The only problem with that is you can't put anything on Kragnos, right? Whereas a Maw Crusher you can. That's my only big thing.
That's fair.
But I think the Mega Boss on Maw Crusher is too expensive. But that's just me. Anything else on the battle traits? I mean, again, these are just good. Like, really good. And better after the balance update. Formations. Really... Weird Fist is bad. Like, real bad. The Ironjawz Brawl is the one I liked the most, which was the +1 to attacks on an 8-up charge. Pretty good.
That one's really good with Kragnos, obviously, because it's not. Yes. It's an unmodified charge roll.
It wouldn't work on the Kragnos then, right?
Huh, he's unmodified.
Yeah, it's not he's not modifying it. He's making roll 3d6.
Is the 3d6 not considered a modified?
No.
No.
Okay. I mean, if it's not, then yeah, Natural Disaster with Kragnos is insanely good. Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Big shocker.
Really good.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought the 3d6 was modified.
I'm pretty sure it isn't.
I'm pretty sure it's not. Like, it's one of those things where he lets you roll 3 dice for the charge. He's not modifying your charge roll. You just get to roll 3 dice.
I'm just double checking.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to double check on that with the charge, with the modify keyword, like the rule on it, but yeah, just looking at Kragnos, it doesn't look like that would modify it. If that's the case, man, Ironjawz Brawl is really good then. Like that's really good with Kragnos. Like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, okay, good. So Ironjawz Brawl is definitely my favorite. Iron Fist and Grunch's Stampede are obviously going to be
they're okay.
Grunch's Stampede's definitely going to be list dependent, but Iron Fist
I
is
like
fine.
it. It's just it's good late game.
The reason I don't like Iron Fist is like it's kind of a weird like you're giving a +1 to hit to something else, but the opponent gets to attack next. So like how useful is this, right? Like I think it's
well, you are a very tanky army, so
yeah, you're able. Like this is one of the few armies that retained a 3-up armor.
It's for 1 unit though. Like the pigs aren't getting that. I don't know.
I thought pigs had are they 4-up? I thought they were 3-up.
No, they're definitely 4-up. I can tell you real quick. I'm pretty sure they're 4-up.
I'm just double checking.
Oh no, they are
they're
3-up.
Yeah,
yeah, they're 3-up. Okay, I'm not crazy.
Okay, maybe it's fine. I still don't like it though. I still don't like it. I'm running the the natural disaster before anything.
Brawl's just better.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, cool. We're on the same
Easier to
page.
build around.
Heroic traits, all really good. That's it. They're all really good. Mega Bossy is really good.
Let's see. Redeploy gets better.
Plus one
If
to
they
charge.
charge, you deal damage. Which is unmodified. You know, that unmodified charge for
Yeah, if
something
you start doing
you
that
can put-
unmodified 8 charge thing, yeah, that stacks up really nicely.
Yeah, Hulking Brooks is a lot better. I mean, if that is actually the case where that's not modified, then yeah, it goes up stats.
Even Mega Bossy's pretty solid though when you think about it.
I like Mega Bossy too. I do.
They're all pretty good.
Yep, all
Like-
good.
Yeah.
Artifacts. Armor of Gork is a pass. That's garbage. Bad. Trophy Skulls is pretty good. Trophy Skulls is insanely good. Adding 10 to the control score, it's like one thing when you add like 3 or 5, but when you're adding 10 to the control score,
Yeah, so suddenly you're looking at that giant over there.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's-
no, this is mine.
it's pretty
yeah,
good.
now you start threatening giants.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The Whetstone is also pretty good. It's fine.
I think the Whetstone has play just
Yep.
because you put on
Yeah.
something tanky. Like you could put on a Maw Crusher and like it'd be pretty.
Just giving it extra rend for the rest of the battle's just good.
I still think my favorite one is Trophy Skull, so that 10 to control score is really good. Really
Yeah,
good.
I think, yeah, I see the value in both of those.
Armor of Gork, garbage. Alright. Spell lore. Again, really good. Really good.
Let's see. We have a crit ×2.
That's the unlimited.
Which is the unlimited
It's
one.
pretty
which
crazy.
Is great.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Let's see. We have a
Great
teleport.
Green Hand of Orc, which is actually weirdly worse than the Goblin version because you have to be wholly within 9 to teleport something. They have to be wholly
Yeah.
within 9. Goblins is wholly within 12.
And it's on a 7? How did that even... How is that a thing? It's the same casting cost as the Goblin one. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just a 3-inch difference. But then again, you can also factor that into the fact that goblins are more horde-like.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, if it was 9 inches for goblins, it'd be a horrible spell.
And then they just have the headbutt, which is just a damage.
Yeah, just a damage one.
Simple damage.
Simple damage. If it's a wizard, just 3 mortal, which is pretty good. Cool. Alright, moving on. Prayer lore.
I think this is where they shine.
This is,
I love this prayer lore.
This is just basically what the War Chanta had in 3rd edition. Get 'em beat, fix 'em beat, and kill a beat, which are pretty... I think they're all the same, right? Other than they've got the bonuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hard part is that like you had to take the drummer boy. And like it's now no longer like a guarantee
It's just you have to,
for other stuff.
You have to roll for it.
Yeah. Which it does hurt a little bit. It's
But you're
not
really
this
not
guarantee.
using this first turn for the most part, so it's not awful.
Yeah, well, that's just a different playstyle of what Ironjawz used to be.
Correct.
First Ironjawz was used at first turn no matter
Yeah,
what.
Alpha
and
Strike
then-
for sure.
Yeah.
They were much more Alpha Strikey for sure.
But now you don't have to choose: am I a healer or am I a charger or
Yeah.
stuff like that. You have the option for all of them.
And honestly, Kill a Beat is just the staple go-to one. Honestly.
I mean, yes, the +1 to damage is super good.
Plus
So
1 damage, you mix that with the Wog +1 attacks. You then mix that with the spell for crit 2 hits.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
really can stack up a lot of really good things here.
I agree.
Agreed. Like there's a lot of things where you could just start stacking up and just all of a sudden you have a lot.
All right, going into the Hero Warscrolls. Kragnos, still good. Still good.
Kragnos is great.
580
Yeah.
is really good. Gordrak also went down in points. I think he's good.
All right.
I don't
I
know if
put
I'm getting him.
my star of approval here for one reason and one reason over. There's now a chance that you'll play Gordrak.
Sure.
That's the only thing.
Probably not, but
He
sure.
has a 3-up save. Like
Yeah. I mean,
he
3-up
hasn't had a
save
3-up
on
save in
20
years.
wounds is pretty hard to get through.
I
I don't know.
like he's
don't know.
he's not like
430 points.
Let me ask
for
you
him.
this: are you taking Gordrak or Kragnos?
you're taking Kragnos, obviously.
Okay, so then, all right, we're moving on then.
Yep.
Until that
I'm just happy that like I'm just happy that if you don't have a Kragnos, you might use Roto.
Sure. I think once we get to a
Maybe.
point where that choice, you have to make that choice, and it's harder, does Gordrak become more useful? Right now, it's Kragnos. You're just gonna take Kragnos. Mega Boss on Maw Crusher. 400 points, man. It's expensive.
Yeah, he's expensive. It's really hard to get that +1 damage off now. Everything's 4s, 2s. You have more tax, but
Again, it comes down to, are you taking him or are you taking Kragnos? And I'm probably taking
Yeah.
I
Kragnos.
don't. He just doesn't feel. That's the same thing with Godric or God whatever
Gordrak.
Gordrak, whatever the fuck his name is. He just doesn't carry enough. I'd rather run more brutes. In all honesty.
Fair.
And brutes are really good.
Brutes
Brutes
are
are
really
really
good.
good.
They're really good. The only problem with brutes is they're slow. That is really their only problem. Mega Boss makes me so sad. The fact that this dude is 8 wounds on a 3-up save with no ward for 210 points is crazy to me.
It's because he can give +1 to attack to all of them. He gives
Sure,
a big
but
wall.
He is not worth 210 points. I'm sorry, he's not.
Let's see.
I'm not taking him. For
He can get
210.
+2 to the attack to them.
Yes. Because of the +1 to attack. Yes. I think there was a restriction to this though. You prepare to fight for this unit. So it's basically just on dice, right? Dice rolls on a 2-up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But like give 2 additional attacks to
I mean, if
brutes
you're
and-
running a ton of brutes, then you're probably taking him. But I don't like his price. I just don't.
He is very expensive. I will 100% agree. Like,
Yeah.
and I think
210, that's a lot.
if I remember correctly, the penalty of this army is that you really want heroes, and like nothing really like nothing's like lieutenant or anything like that.
Yeah.
So like
There's
you,
a head stomper, but they're not good.
yeah.
Well,
I
I think
the
like
heads-
Stormcast, they always had that
Yeah, that's
Lord
it.
versus Knight for almost every type of hero.
Yeah.
If you're like, I want the Lord version, and then you're like, well, I need the discount, so I'm just gonna run a bunch of Knights. You know?
Yeah.
Ward-
That's my only problem. Well, what is considered a head stomper?
It's the Ardboy Big Boss, which is actually fine.
You know what? Which is fair. If you're going to be taking Ardboys, you want an Ardboy Big Boss.
Yes, and he's really good
Yeah.
for that.
Those guys
Um,
are great.
The other thing that's going to be an auto include in this, most likely, is going to be the War Chanter, because obviously he's your only priest. So
Yeah.
definitely taking him. Weird Knob Shaman, cheap caster. Will be in
He's
most
your
lists.
caster.
Yep.
He's what you need to have a caster.
Zogrock went down in points, and
I think
he is.
I think he's
usable now.
actually viable now.
I
Yeah,
do too. I think he's actually usable now.
because
He actually has decent damage output too.
He does. He does.
it's
only
just
two-
the mortals. That's all you want him
Yeah,
for.
yeah. It's mostly.
But
the
I mean,
mortals.
like in a needed situation here.
Yeah.
And then Ardboy Big Boss is. It's crazy how good this guy is with Ardboys. It's insane. It makes your damage for Ardboys go up drastically.
Massively.
Like,
It is
It is crazy.
ridiculous.
This guy's 130 points. He will be in the list for sure. And he's a lieutenant, right? So you can put him in without going crazy drops. The big boss is very good. And then the Tusk boss, not worth the 300 points. I'm sorry. I'm surprised that they didn't go down in points, to be honest.
Like, okay, like they fixed their whole momentum thing.
Yeah.
I think the momentum is super good now.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, like
I
it is
want more-
300 points.
I want more
The
brutes.
momentum doesn't give as much buff as it did before.
I just want more brutes. Just give me more brutes.
Yeah, like you'll get brutes or you'll get Ardboys.
I just think they're right now. I think 300 is just a little too steep. So, okay, going into the non-hero Warscrolls, brutes. Again, the worst thing about these guys is the speed. It's hard to get them in, but once they are in, they do a ton of damage.
They do a crap.
You just
ton of
run
damage.
with Kragnos.
Right,
Problem solved.
Kragnos helps for sure. I don't think there's anything that does Oh, run and charge. I guess you can get with. Can you get run and charge? How do you get run and charge? Wasn't it a spell or something?
I don't think there's a run and charge in this army.
Yeah, I can't think of any in here.
I think it's Brute Ragers. Brute Ragers have run and charge.
Oh, okay, bummer. So that's the. I mean, I think that's the biggest downside with the brutes is they're just really slow. But you set them on a point, and they will take that point, and they will do a massive amount of damage when they get charged. They're really good. Our boys also really good. These guys.
I'm so crazed that our boys are 180 points.
I am too. I cannot believe these guys are 180 points. Like these
they,
guys are.
They just sit on an objective, and you go, charge me. I dare you.
Yes.
Well, and you're talking about, like, I know Joel was talking about, like, trolls being super oppressive. You want to know how you counter trolls?
Ard boys.
Run 40 Ard or 20 Ard boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Trolls tank Ard boys when the Ard boys charge, but you give them they have the whole anti-charge extra rend, and they can shield bash. Like
shield bash on 5s when they're next to.
You just go, come on, come at me. Yeah. I dare you.
Yeah. Ard boys are like. They're like the destruction version of Chaos Warriors. They're really good.
Yeah.
What it is they're just going to sit back and they'll slowly move forward, and they're going to swing their arms back and forth, and they're slow move forward. And if you get hit, that's your fault.
Yep. Let's see. The Rekkas, probably a pass. I don't know.
They're fine.
I marked them as a B. They're fine. Brute Ragers. If you can get them in before they die, they're fine. They're fine. They're just 5-up save. Like, they'll do a ton of damage if they get into something, but I don't know. They're still swinging to me.
The Maw Gruntas.
Yes.
They're swingy, but they all have, like, they can peak their damage.
Yeah, you get that momentum going. Once the momentum kind of gets like 2 or 3, like they start to do really well.
I mean, do you like run one of them? I just think they're expensive.
That's the thing. They're expensive.
I would only run one of them.
Okay.
Like that's, in my opinion, you run one and you use it as that one unit that just hits to the side once they're stopped by the Ard boys, and you just slam into them and go, hey, I'm going to attack over here. You're going to have to focus on that pig who has 12 wounds and a 3-up save. If you don't, he's going to hit you, and you're going to regret it.
Fair, yeah. They're just so expensive. 270. Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot. Remember, you have no ward in this army either. Like it's like it hurts. No. It definitely hurts not having a ward. All right, and that's it. That's all we got for Ironjawz. As far as the regiments for now, you're not going to use the snatches. You don't need them.
Cruel
shots. Cruel shots, though. Now we're talking. You want some Ironjawz with some shooting? Okay.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in it. I'm in it for that. Like I would take out I take out the Mega Boss and the one of the Gruntas for the shooting. Like I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
All right. Cool. Army of Renown garbage.
I don't even know what it does, to be honest.
The thing is all the pigs are expensive, so...
Correct. It's just not good. Yeah. You just lose out on so much of the stuff that you want to, so... Alright, Army suffers from bad hit rolls. And I know this is kind of just a destruction thing in general, because most destruction hits on 4s. But not having wards as well, that's where I think they struggle. I do think the balance update helped them, especially with the WA. But
yes.
I think they are still... I think they'll come up in the meta, but I don't think they're going to be 5-0, you know.
I think Kragnos was the biggest thing for them.
I agree.
Agreed.
Yeah. That you're now looking at an army that can counter a lot of things that are currently like more meta pick because Kragnos is cheaper, and that instantly makes Ironjawz better.
Yeah, agreed.
My problem with Ironjawz is that they are an army that revolves around your opponent doing things. Because, like, all right, our boys are great if they charge you.
Correct.
Your entire army is slow except for Kragnos.
And the Gorgruntas, which we didn't really
Yeah.
talk about, but they're not as good as these were. Used to be.
Yeah, like it's a good army. I think it's high damage potential, good army. It's just that, man, because of their slowness, it revolves around your opponent to like make mistakes or not to understand how bad of a position they're in,
Correct.
and then capitalize on it.
I definitely know Aaron's a fan of Ironjawz. He did really well at Smite, so.
Yeah,
That was a
Me too.
tough game too.
And he played 3 Rock Gut players. I would have just jumped off the building at that point.
Hey, he beat 2 of those rocket players.
I know.
though.
I mean, his list was kind of made to do that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much, it was a counter rocket list,
Correct.
and it did its job really well.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Ard boys, if you charge me, I win.
All right, cool. Kruleboyz, last one. I love Kruleboyz. I honestly don't understand. I honestly don't understand how these guys aren't higher in the meta right now. Their book is insanely good. On paper,
That's the thing.
Kruleboyz is extremely good. Like, we're going to go over this and you're going to be like, how are they not 5-0ing every tournament? But in reality, there's a lot of things that just don't go their way. But boy, on paper, this is one of the best looking armies on paper. It's insane. I read this and I was like, what? Where did these guys come from?
It's because their entire army book is based off of going to a casino.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But boy, when that casino pops off, man.
Oh yeah,
hey,
when you strike big, you strike big, and
You
your
hit
opponent's
that-
gonna be like, I can't do anything.
you put money on black, and when that black hits, you're rocking.
But that's the thing with Kruleboyz. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
And they're better now than what they were in third.
Oh, they are light
Honestly,
years. They're
A
not
main
even.
reason I think we will start seeing them as time goes on. I think you'll start seeing their win rates go up, strictly
hope
because
so.
players are learning how to play them.
Yeah.
I look at this and I read these rules, and they're very much like a higher skill army.
They are.
You have
need
to know when
yeah.
to do what dirty trick. You have to know what unit's good for what thing. You know.
But boy, these guys are good. I really like this book.
I love the dirty tricks.
I played this for the first time in 4th edition against Steven, who was running just Vanguard and Archeon. It didn't go well, obviously, but I really liked the book. I just need to play a little bit more with them, a little bit more. So, again, the overview, dirty tricks have been completely reworked, and they are much better than they used to be. It's not even close. They are a very glass cannon playstyle. They will die to a swift breeze, but boy, when things go right, you will.
They're trying to kill you before you kill them.
Correct.
Yeah.
They are slow for the most part, but there are some ways to get these guys quicker. Kragnos is one of them. The Marshcrawler is another one. The lack of ward really hurts this army, and it does. It feels real bad. Objectives and battle tactics do seem kind of difficult. You don't have very many, there's no, Fury unit, or there's no, I can't think of anything in the book that's, you would use to get objectives. It's kind of tough.
Yeah,
they don't have, a fast cavalry unit or anything like that.
No, cheap, 90-point, Frost Sabers or anything like that, right? They don't have anything like that.
No, and most of their guys are 5-inch move. So.
I think that's probably why they're not doing so well, is because it's really hard for them to get battle tactics.
Their biggest flaw in this entire army is that they don't have a cavalry that's decent.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They just need something in order to snag. They don't even have deep strike, right?
Well, okay, they have.
They do.
They do, and technically they have a lot of deep strike.
They can, yes, for sure.
Oh.
They do. There's definitely ways you can do it, but again, it's on a dice roll, right? It's on a dice roll.
It's a
right. I
major
forgot
deal.
the teleport. Yeah, their
Yes.
dirty trick teleport.
Yep.
Yep.
It is a dirty trick too. Let me tell you. Anything else on Kruleboyz Overview? I like this book. It's one of my favorite books.
Oh yeah, I love it. I just, it's an army that I would not like to play because it is extremely inconsistent.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is not a new. It's also not a new player-friendly army. I would not recommend this for new players.
No. And honestly, I know we've been talking about Kragnos a lot today.
He's good.
This is probably one of the armies where I would say don't run Kragnos.
I like him in this though because it gets your gut rippers in combat.
Yeah, but the thing is like.
But he's expensive. He's expensive in this. I don't
like
know.
the entire thing of Kruleboyz is to be sneaky and to do things that your opponent doesn't really want you to do, and running your big melee unit into combat is probably something that they want to do, especially because you will die to a stiff breeze.
Maybe that's why I didn't do well because I definitely use Kragnos. But anyway, all right, Kruleboyz traits. Let's get into the dirty tricks. This is basically your whole entire army composition and like how you do things. And these are all extremely good. Like I cannot tell you how good these are. Lethal Surprise. It's very situational in the current meta, but it's still really good.
That's only what I don't really remember. Which one's Lethal Surprise?
That's the inflict D3 mortals.
And they can't get charge bonuses.
Correct.
Charge +1 damage specifically.
Correct. So it's again like when something comes into you with charge +1 damage, like it's very list dependent on the enemy side, but it's still good. It's still fine in the current meta because everything's charge +1. It seems like. The Venom encrusted weapons 5-up crits. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Last time I checked, 5-up crits pretty good.
Especially when everything in the army is either a crit auto wound or crit mortal wound.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really good. Sneaky Sneakin'. This is extremely good to like get your bolt boys out of combat or away from combat to the other side of the board, and you just take something and still continue to shoot.
Yep,
that's the way I use it.
Just a teleport.
Yep, it's very good.
Yeah, just a teleport. They can't be in combat.
Yes, they cannot be in combat for sure. I just use them like when they start getting up to me. I'm like,
yeah.
And you can.
No, I don't want to be here.
You can do this in any movement phase. So it's not just your movement phase. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go get your bolt boys. I'm like, yeah, you thought you were going to get my bolt boys, but now they're on the other side of the map.
So, like, the sneakin' is probably the thing that makes this entire army extremely workable, because it's the same thing as the Dreadblade Harrows, except it's not guaranteed, which makes it balanced. But also, there's a sub-faction that allows you to do it twice every turn for any unit.
That's one
not any unit.
It's one of the ones that I don't like, though. It's like one of
the...
So,
I know we didn't mention it, but the big thing and the big downside to a lot of these dirty tricks is it's on a die roll.
It is on a die roll.
Every battle round it resets. You have to make a 2-up for the first one you do in a battle round, a 3-up, then a 4-up, and then a 5-up, and it just stays a 5-up.
Yep.
So, like, yes, all these can be used in any phase or in any person's turn, but it just gets so much harder to use them.
It does. Yeah, and these are all super good that you want to use them consistently.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like, does your opponent, first round, your opponent goes first. Do you want to use any of these stuff to get a little bit of a head? Because if you do, like your Venom encrusted weapons, it's not going to be on a 2-up anymore.
Correct.
Because that's only during your turn. Yeah. Does your opponent hit you? All right, you're going to have to use your Noisy Racket. So that's strike last, which means that your Venom encrusted weapons in your turn, you're going to do less damage during my turn. So it's also a army that falls short if your opponent puts pressure on you.
Yeah, because again, it just makes it harder for that dice roll. So like we said at the beginning, it's a very dice roll heavy mechanic, right? Which
Granted,
is good.
If you make every die roll, that's
great.
great.
Your opponent's going to be crying.
Yeah, you're good. All right, battle formations. Again, I guess the trophy thing was my least favorite. Kruleboyz Claw is really good. This is board wide too, so like, it's just as long as you're within 3 inches of terrain feature, you're not visible. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think it's good. I still think the light fingo one, the one where it allows you to do the sneakin' twice every turn.
I know, but you still
I
have
think
to
that
roll
one's so
for it,
good.
though. I just think you're
Yeah,
doing
but now
so
I can roll
many...
twice.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I see it, but again, it's playing to the strengths of like not trying to burn all of your dirty tricks.
Well, you
at
know
once.
how horrid Dreadblade Harrows are?
Yeah. It's
Now-
funny that these didn't get touched and Dreadblade
Well,
Arrows
so
did.
actually, here's the question: being able to use it twice per turn, does that mean that I can pick the same unit twice?
Yes.
Let me go ahead and check that out.
It's a passive
Because
ability.
let's say you went first, and you've done it on my turn, and now it's my turn, and like I'm already at a 5-up. What downside do I have to just roll it twice on the same unit?
I think you can. I don't see any reason why you.
I don't
couldn't
see why you
roll-
couldn't.
I don't think because
Yeah.
once per turn, any movement phase, pick a friendly Kruleboyz infantry unit. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I think you can do it on.
Oh no, I have a more guaranteed chance.
yeah. There's no downside to that one. So
I
adding
don't.
3 to the range is okay. You already have a decent range on
Yeah.
most of your stuff.
Yeah.
If you have
there
if
are-
you're going like
it's all
really
pretty
heavy shooting, then sure, it's probably fine. But yeah.
I'm just sad about the trophy finger because I really like the idea of it
Yeah.
because it's all companion weapons
But
have crit times too.
You're not gonna use. You're just not getting those units into combat. You don't want
Yeah,
to.
the only things that you're going to be using this on are the giant heroes that are really support heavy.
Yes, maybe
you
the
don't
kill
want to
boss
stay in
on
combat.
Nash too.
Yeah,
maybe.
they need their own like cavalry unit again. Like
Yes.
their own cavalry unit fixes so many things here.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Like the vulture's very good, especially with trophy finger.
Yeah.
But like, I'd rather have 2 teleports than have my giant bird be able to have crit times 2.
Yep. Yep.
So
Heroic traits. These are fine. Backstab was bad. The rest of them are fine. I did not like Backstabber.
let's see. Backstabber.
Inflict D3 mortal damage on
Yeah,
the
that's
target.
just
Add 1
End of
more.
any turn inflicts some mortals.
Just meh.
The problem is it's very conditional.
Enemy hero in
Yeah.
combat.
It's only hero. It has to be in combat, and like you deal more damage if more Kruleboy units are in there.
Correct.
So
And it's only 1.
yeah,
I don't know. The scumbag is fine. It's a great way to get out of combat with one of your support pieces.
oh, I love the scumbag. The
and
scumbag's
then-
probably my favorite out of all of it.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
probably
that
the
one's
go-to.
definitely the.
You put that on a vulture, and
Yep.
your vulture's going to be surviving.
Yep, agreed. All right, cool.
That's just a good go-to.
Yeah, most people I see that have good lists are using the scumbag. These are fine. I did the swamp staff because yes, you just want +1 to your unit's power level. Like yeah.
All right, so I really like Mork's Eye Pebble.
Okay.
Just because your entire army
It
is
could use the
already
5 upward. 100%.
your entire army is really squishy in the first place, and so once per game, whenever your opponent finally gets to you, having just this big aura of 5-up ward, like, and it lasts the entire turn. So your opponent shoots you, boom, you activate it. It's there for the shooting phase. It's there for the combat phase.
Yep.
Like
I-
it's
yeah.
pretty good.
I do like that one. I do like that one for sure. I also like the swamp staff to give the +1 to power
Swamp
level.
staff is just an arcane tome.
It's good.
Yeah,
And it's-
they definitely have some good options with these artifacts, though.
Cool. All right. Spell lore, pretty good. The Black Pit is fine. It's just your horde spell, which is the unlimited one, which is weird, but whatever. Choking Mist is good. Subtract 1 from attack characteristics, pretty good. And then add 1 to save rolls, which is very good.
Yeah. So they have -1 to the attack.
Which is
Amazing.
really good.
And then they also have +1 to save, which your entire army doesn't have a good save, but it's still good.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Black Pit is meh.
It's
like it.
fine. It's not a good unlimited. It's the worst unlimited.
Honestly, I think the other two, you're just going to cast those every turn.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yep. And you definitely need more cunning in this army. Like +1 to save is huge in this army.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get into the Hero Warscrolls. Kragnos. I know you guys didn't like him. I love him.
He is a good beat stick. He is
Yeah.
good. At 580, he is good. But like,
I get it. I get what
This
you're
army's not meant to play that way. It's not meant to.
I get what you're saying. You kind of want someone to charge your gut rippers, so you're like, okay, strike first.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I guess that's kind of... I played them quite different, so... So I can totally see why you would not take Kragnos in this, so that I can definitely see that.
And especially losing the 3d6 counter charge makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Gobsprack is no more an auto-include.
He's too expensive.
I agree.
He's costly. He's still good. His Warscroll's nice. His points are just a little...
Yeah, like, he's just way too expensive. 360 points for a double caster. He's okay in combat, but you're not taking him to be in combat.
And he went down, I think, 10 points, and I still don't think I'd take him.
Yeah. 14 wounds.
5-up save.
5-up save.
No,
6-up.
2 casts. I mean... Man.
He dies very fast.
Yeah. I don't like the Killer Boss in Corpse Ripper Vulture 2. I know a lot of people do, especially for the redeploy, but
I think he's actually... I actually really like the Killer Boss.
There's a lot of people that do. I don't know, man. 290?
Hey,
really...
for 290, only because of that retreat ability.
Actually, you read this guy really quick.
It's basically the biggest thing he's bringing is the Gut Rippers get the auto 4 redeploy.
Yeah, he gets the auto 4 redeploy. You can charge him in, and then he has the whatever you rolled for your charge.
4-ups Immortals. He's like one of the only ones that has it.
Yeah. Which I guess if you're going to be playing Kragnos, might as well take this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the biggest thing is you can retreat, be out of combat, and then pile in again to be able to fight with him. And like he does decent damage.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
amazing.
I guess you could, huh? You could use your...
Yeah, 3-up retreat, stay outside of 3 inches of something, and then just pile in and hit it.
Okay. I mean...
Actually, and he's not a bad recipient of the +1 to save.
Yeah,
4-up base save is pretty nice. You give him, make him a wizard.
And, he's pretty fast. 12 inches flying.
Okay, alright. With the scumbag on him, I actually like him.
Yeah, I think he is definitely worth his points with the scumbag.
Okay, alright. I'm definitely a believer, now that we're talking about that. I think with the scumbag, he's actually pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, his damage is solid.
It's okay. I mean... Yeah,
it's not bad, but I like that he's not as random with his damage as some other units.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alright. I think I'm a buyer. Killabash and Nashtooth is a no. He is way too expensive at 200
Way
points.
too expensive.
Absolutely not. Killaboss with Stab Garrot. Come on, you couldn't make this guy useful? Pass.
I love the Stab Garrot, though. That's funny.
I love the Stab Garrot. I just hate that it's not useful. He's just not useful.
Yeah, exactly.
The only nice thing about him, I will say, not maybe for his price, is that all-out attack, if you're wholly within 12 of another unit, or if you have, let's say, your Gut Rippers in front of him, you all-out attack them wholly within 12 of this guy, it's +1 hit and wound.
Sure, but you're really relying on the mortals anyway.
Yeah, you're relying on the mortals, but...
Sure.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad. I don't...
He's cheap.
You know what? And he's not his own drop, so sure. But I still think I'm not taking him. I'm still passing on him.
Let's see. We'll go into the next one. The Belcher Bandit. Nope.
Pass.
Oh,
maybe if it wasn't his own drop.
Yeah.
I mean,
why is he not a lieutenant?
I don't know. If he was a lieutenant, I'd actually consider him.
The Swamp Shaman is actually pretty great.
Oh, I take 2 of them. I take absolutely 2 of these guys in my list. I think they're great. I think they're really, really good. +1 to casting? Absolutely.
Yeah, you need a couple casters with this army.
And then you get an extra +1 to save, so you're potentially +2 to save on something. 100% taking 2 of these guys.
Like, they're pretty great.
Yeah. And even if one of them dies, I'm still, you can only do the +1 to save on one thing, but
They're 120 points.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. It's 120 point cast. That also gives +1 to save.
Correct. It's really good. Really good.
You now have 2 +1 to save potentials.
Correct.
And it's also +1 to, they're... I'd rather take 2 of them than take, Scragrot.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real, that is funny.
God, I am not a
Scragrot
I
fan?
cannot justify, like, Scragrot needed to go down in points for me to be like, oh, I'll run Scragrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right, then we get into the Snatcher boss dudes. The
Okay,
Slimdrack
I love that Scumdrack is 80 points less than the non-named version. It still would pass.
And he's still a pass. Yes, exactly. The Snatcher Bass and Sludgebraker beast, though.
Oh, like
I like this
I
guy.
think he's almost mandatory for a lot of things.
Yes, I really like this guy. Adding 1 to the damage characteristic for the crit mortals, now your gut rippers are really scary. Like, really scary. Yeah, I really like the Snatcher boss. I really do. I really, really like him.
Yeah, it's the Sludge Raker with the what is it? The Gut Rippers that I think is like the main damage of this entire
and they
army.
do a crap ton of damage. Yep, I like it.
And that combo alone is probably why I vote against Kragnos.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I took out the Sludgebraker beast for Kragnos, and in hindsight, was not a good idea. Breakaboss, he's fine. He's not as good as he used to be.
He hits hard.
He can hit hard, yes. It's just hard to do. Like in the previous book, you could drop him. And this, it's really hard to get him anywhere because he's only 5-inch movement.
Slow, yes.
So it's
very,
hard.
very
it's
slow.
hard to get him anywhere. That's my biggest problem with him. But if you do get him into combat and you roll that 3, he's doing a shit ton of damage.
Yeah.
He's doing a
10
lot
attacks
of
at 4s, 2s, -2, 3.
Yes.
That's like 5 trogs.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of damage. All right. Anything else here? I think we talked about them all. Let's go into the non-hero Warscrolls. Gut Rippers, 100%. 100%.
Oh yeah, it's just you use them for the trick of +1 damage and then more crits on 5's mortal wounds.
Yep.
And then you'll win just by mortal wounding
Correct.
your opponent to death.
So you're 2 attacks each, and you're just looking for 5s for the 2 mortals, and they just rip through things.
Yeah. The Monster Killer.
Oh god, let's talk about the
I love this guy.
Oh my god, the Monster Killers, dude. Any really good list right now that's running Kruleboyz is running like 4 units of these. They are, dude, they are crazy good though. For 120 points, these things are insanely good.
Oh yeah, I could see easily taking 2 of them and just going, oh, does your opponent have a monster? No.
You can't reinforce
You're just
them.
not going to get to do anything.
You can't reinforce these guys, but you don't need to. Like these
No,
things
you just take 2 of them.
So
you just take 2.
So good.
I think 2's good, and if they don't have a monster, they grab side objectives.
Well, even without
they
a
get
monster,
your take the flanks.
Even without a monster, you're still good because you get what?
They're
7
still
of these?
D6 damage.
They're they're so good. They're so good. You get 7 of them, and then you can still put the crit mortals on here to give them 2 damage. No, you're thinking of.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No,
3 attacks each though. They're 21 attacks, 22 attacks that you can give crit mortals. And then they just,
they do have a champion. Oh, okay. I didn't think they did.
And then they're just good against monsters. I think these guys are good, really good. Yeah. And there's a lot of lists running like 3 or 4 or 5 of these units. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've seen those lists.
120 points for these, by the way. And by the way, these didn't get increased in points. I don't know how, but they didn't.
I mean, they did, honestly, I don't think anything in Kruleboyz really needed a points increase.
I don't know, man. Like when you look at with all the Kruleboyz lists right now, like the Monster Killers are spam central right now. They're just way too cheap.
The Monster Killers are just a little bit
they
spammy.
probably need to be like 130, 140, if I had to guess. Warscrolls Saga, a lot of people aren't running this. I like him.
It's because the problem is that you had to take it in place of something else. But like, it's still good. Like running charge is great.
I think I'm playing it. Yeah. I'm playing it wrong though. Like I was trying
losing the +1 hit aura.
It does.
Is what hurt
that does hurt. But I was trying to pretty much yeet my units in, and you do not want to do that with this army. You want to kind of sit back and let them come to you, and I think that's where Warscrolls Saga is not good, because you don't need it. You don't need it to run.
Yeah, and that's the only thing it's bringing to the table. It's not bringing anything else.
Yeah. And then both of the shooting guys.
Really good.
Skewers are efficient.
I think
they are great.
I think Kruleboyz and Boltboyz are good.
I
think.
love the
I think.
Kruleboyz.
Killbow's great.
Yeah,
You want
Kruleboyz.
to talk about bringing monsters down? I love the Killbow.
See, that's what I was talking about. I was thinking of Kruleboyz. I would take 2 Kruleboyz.
I like the
They're
Kruleboyz,
slightly expensive. They're slightly expensive,
but
man,
boy,
do they do work.
they let me down when I tried to go into Archeon. You would think I would kill Archeon with these things, but I just rolled like crap, and Steven rolled really well, so they let me down. But they are really good. They are absolutely really good.
Hey, 2 Kruleboyz, 320 points. What is that? 4 attacks that you're going to be at 3s, 2s, what, -3 against Archeon, 6 damage each.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. Let me double check that.
Yeah, it's because you get the +1.
Yeah, Rend 3 against Archeon.
Yeah.
Crit auto wound,
Yeah.
and then 6 damage because they automatically just go up to 6
If they're a monster.
against monsters.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Like that.
Pretty good.
And
And
then
it
even
does
just
the
the Bolt
mortals.
Boys are solid.
Yeah, Boltboyz are also really good. Yep. They got a pretty again, like we talked about. The only thing they're missing is a cav unit. They have nothing that's fast.
Yeah, they rely on their teleports to be fast, which is not a good way to
Correct.
do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that struggles with some of the battle tactics too. So it makes take the flanks almost impossible turn 1 on most battle plans.
Yeah.
Regiments of Renown. The giant
really well
kind of like here because it gives a little bit more of an anvil to something.
Their entire army revolves around like doing tricks and buffing their stuff, so you don't want other things because you're not going to be able to do any of your tricks with them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
You just don't. They just don't bring anything you need to the table.
I actually like the bottle snatches just because you have a little bit more speed, which is helpful.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Again, these guys suffer from speed. It's really hard to get battle tactics and objectives in with these guys. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
battle
I
tactics
guess
are
if you're
fun.
worried about like a turn 1 take the flanks, it's actually like Battle Snatchers is fine.
Yeah.
But
Okay. And then that's it. That's all we got. So we'll go into the overview for these guys. This was pre-balance, right? And I for sure thought Monster Killers were going to get point increased. And they definitely did not, so never mind. Again, this army relies a lot on crits. We talked about it as kind of the, what did you call it? The casino?
Oh yeah, it's a casino army.
Casino army, that's what it is. This is
You're
not
going to strike big or you're going down.
not a good army for new players, especially from a competitive standpoint. So
no, but it does force you to learn a lot of things about the game, though.
True. Camaron, you didn't give me a score for these guys too, so I don't know what.
Well, did I not give a score to them?
No.
I feel
want-
like they're a solid B.
I thought
Yeah,
they were solid
B.
B too, but man, these guys are not doing well in the meta right now. I don't understand.
Well, and the issue comes down to though,
It's
and
the-
I think the main reason is yes, there's roulette. Yes, there's some high potential with what they can do, but some of their costs are just too high.
and
Agreed.
they're,
Bring some of those. Their main units, I think, are fine. Their support units, like the heroes, need to come down a bit.
and again, they can't.
And
get
they're
to-
not lieutenants.
They're not,
they need things that can be put into other. They can't. Orcs run into this issue where they want all orc factions want a lot of heroes.
Mhm.
At least with Ironjawz, some of those are lieutenants and are able to be put into other regiments. But Kruleboyz just don't have that.
I still think
Yeah.
the number one issue that Kruleboyz has is their lack of being able to grab objectives and battle tactics. Like they struggle.
Yeah.
They struggle. And if you rely on getting a battle tactic with your teleport, it just doesn't feel good, right?
I've said this in our Discord before, but to fix Kruleboyz completely, you need to add 2 things, and that's a cavalry unit and a heavy infantry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
And what
Yeah,
I mean
honestly-
by heavy infantry, I mean just an elite infantry. It doesn't have to be like something with like a 4-up save or 3-up save.
It's funny you say that because it makes me think of old Warhammer Fantasy Wood Elves, which struggled a lot, especially as the editions moved on. 1, because they didn't get a new book, and 2, because they had no heavy units. The only thing they had were the trees, which obviously are Sylvaneth now, but like
Yeah.
those guys were just so costly that they weren't a strong enough or a good enough anvil for anything. And that's what these guys run into. They just don't have a solid anvil.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Everything dies really quickly.
Very quickly. Yep.
And
And again,
the
you're
only
relying on those
Yeah.
dirty tricks to get you by, and when they don't work, you suffer for it.
Yep.
All right. Conclusion. All right, cool. So what's coming up next? So next week we'll finish it off with Ogres and Sons. And then we'll be done with all the factions finally. Man, that took us
I love how
forever.
you chose to do like the
I know.
two
It's just because they were in
biggest
order.
ones,
I know. It was whatever.
and
It's
then we're
fine.
doing like two of the smallest ones.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be a real short show.
When you said Orcs today, I thought it was going to be Ironjawz. I was
No.
like, okay, that sounds fine.
No. It was all
Yeah,
three.
that's what I thought too.
Hey, you know what? We're done with them now, though. We're done. So
We're done with them.
So, so we'll do the next two factions, the last two factions, and then we'll have some other shows as well. I want to go do, once everyone kind of plays through the new balance update, we'll do a show on that to kind of see where we are and what we still need to fix, which I think is going to be relatively the same stuff, but we'll see. And yeah, we'll go from there. So next week is the Sons and
Ogres.
Ogres. Man, poor Beast Claw Raiders. I wanted them to be good. Anyway, other than that, you guys have anything else?
No.
No.
Sweet. Zach, hopefully I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, are you heading over there?
Yeah, I'm
here?
gonna give him a call real quick, or ask chat to see if anyone's still there. Make sure their table's available. I think we're gonna be fine, but I just want to double check.
I think they mentioned something in chat about bringing. They don't have any 44x60s.
Okay, I can bring mine.
Yeah.
If someone else has one too, someone else should bring one because I only have
I
one mat.
don't have one. I need to get one, but I don't have
let me see if we can find another person as a mat. Okay, cool. Other than that, we will talk to you guys next week and have a good rest of the week.
Yep. See you in a bit, Joel.
Bye.